sorry? Are you for real? Oh, somebody sedate me, please. If it's not this, I don't want it. You killed him, didn't you? Oh, fuck. I'll bleed whatever colour you tell me to. I'm scared. Hello my book besties. Welcome or welcome back. My name's Sian. Yes, I'm starting this video off in my pyjamas. We're just gonna gloss over that. Welcome to part 2 of my Throne of Glass series reading vlog. I originally was gonna do all 8 books in one vlog, but I didn't think I would have as much to say as I have about it. So part 1 was longer than I anticipated, and I just thought there is no way I can get all 8 books in this one video. So splitting it into 2 parts. If you haven't already watched part 1, then save this video for later. Today is day 12. I'm about to start Queen of Shadows. So this is book 5. Technically it's book 4 in the series, but I read Assassin's Blade first. I had originally said that I was gonna read all 8, gonna try to read all 8 in 2 weeks. That has not happened. But I did have a hen do to go to, which took a whole weekend with like 10 hours worth of driving and stuff. So that literally took 2 days out of it. But I still feel like I'm making good time getting through it. I am enjoying this series so much, guys. Like, I can't even. I fear this is about to become my whole personality. I'm not mad at it. I can honestly say that I'm not mad at it. So let's get started. It's very interesting how, obviously this is written in 3rd person, and every one of Celaena's POVs used to say Celaena did this, Celaena did that. And now it's saying Aelin instead. So it's like there's been a shift in her identity. She's found Arobynn. She's just sat down at the table and he was meeting with a client, and the client is Chaol. Why is he meeting with Arobynn? So she's meeting with Arobynn. She's got no inclination yet as to where he's keeping the necklace that he stole from her when she was little, the one that contains the word key. But he's agreed to help her rescue Aedion, her cousin, from the dungeons, in exchange for her capturing one of the Valg princes, or like the lesser ones, so either somebody wearing a collar or somebody with a ring on. And he's saying to her, oh, it makes me sick. Tell me what I must do to atone. Tell me to crawl over hot coals, to sleep on a bed of nails, to carve at my flesh. Say the word and it is done, but let me care for you as I once did, before that madness poisoned my heart. Punish me, torture me, wreck me, but let me help you. Do this small thing for me and let me lay the world at your feet. Ew, no, are you for real? She's just had her reunion with Chaol and she realises that he's not in her heart anymore, like at all. So she is fully over him, and I think he's getting over her. He's fully like helping the rebels now. So Chaol had redeemed himself at the end of Air of Fire, and now he's just had this catch up with Celaena, Aelin. He's been an absolute arsehole to her, basically saying that she's a monster for having magic and magic should stay away. And she said, tell me how to get magic back, then I can help save Dorian. And he's like, no, basically no. Like, he knows how to get the magic back. They need to knock down one of the towers. Just tell her. He thinks the world would be a better place without magic, but yet the king has brought demons who are like possessing loads of people. So that's allowed. And she said, Dorian can have magic, but mine's an abomination. And he was like, well, Dorian hasn't killed loads of people. Are you for real? What the fuck is your problem? So Arobynn has sent Celaena's suit to her that he had made for her years ago. And then Lysandra, the courtesan, who was like, used to flirt with Sam back in the day, has turned up at her door, basically told her Arobynn's plan to break out Aedion from prison, but also handed her a letter from Wesley, Arobynn's guard who he killed. Apparently she was with Wesley after Sam was killed, and he'd written Celaena a letter to explain to her everything Arobynn did and what he'd instructed Farhan to do to Sam and like the whole plan. So she's now got this letter from Wesley. Is it going to make me cry when it says? Dorian is fully possessed by whatever demon is like taken over him from that collar. He's just been down to see Aedion in the dungeons, and he's like screaming on the inside, and he just has no control over his body. His dad is, the king is such a bastard. So the witches have just been told by Lord Perrington to offer him one of their covens so that they can experiment on them with those black, not a ring, but like a stone of it, whatever the material's made of, to sew it into their skin so that they can like see if they can pair the witches with the Valg. So they're not just taking over humans now, they're trying to like pair them, mate them, whatever, with fucking witches. Can you imagine how powerful they would be? So Manon doesn't know she's going to do it yet. She's just gone back to her room and there's a servant girl there and she said, if you need me, just call for Elide. Elide was the name of Aylin's nursemaid's daughter, the one who sacrificed herself so she could get away the night her parents were killed. Her young daughter was called Elide. I think this is the same girl, and now she's been used as a slave by her uncle who's Lord of Peranth. I think it's her. Chaol is actually being such a bastard to Aylin now. Like, what the fuck is his problem? He did just tell her, though, how to destroy the tower, and that destroying the tower will bring back magic. He's finally told her, because he's realised, like, in order to save Dorian, we need to bring magic back. He's stopped being so fucking stubborn, but his attitude actually stinks. So Aylin has made it into the castle disguised as a dancer. She's now changed her disguise to a man, and she's just made her way over to Aedion and he's clocked that it's her. And now I'm nervous because she's still got to, like, unchain him, defeat all the gods, get out of the room, like, the king's in there, get out of the castle. Oh, please don't let Aedion die. Okay, I've read 150 pages. She's managed to rescue Aedion. They've made their great escape because she's a fucking badass. And now Dorian has followed them out and, like, has collared them in the garden. Obviously, he's possessed. I really don't want her to kill him. Please. Please don't kill him, but also, like, I don't want Aedion to get killed. I need her to get out. And also, when is Rowan gonna travel here? Like, hello? Can we have him back now, please? Oh, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm gonna call it a night there, though, because I've got work tomorrow. Day 13. I'm so excited to continue reading this, honestly. She's managed to escape with Aedion. She was about to kill Dorian because she basically gave him a chance to prove that he was in there and she didn't see any sign of him, so she was about to kill him, and one of Chaol's soldiers stopped her and they managed to escape, and now she's having a confrontation with Chaol, and he was saying, like, he basically said, you were about to kill him, and she said, yeah, because Dorian's gone, and, like, I gave him a minute to show that he was in there and he didn't, and that was, like, a minute that could have cost me my kingdom and everything. And he was like, you're a liar and you've always been a liar. Chaol, calm down, love. So Manon, the wing leader of the witches, is now questioning why they want to, like, try and pair witches with the Valgs. And I think she might actually rebel against the king, you know. I think she might not go through with orders when she realises that their actual plan is to dominate the world, not just Adarlan. So Aedion has woken up and Aylin is now telling him, like, the story of everything that has happened since they've been separated. And he's patted the bed next to him and she sat down, and he said, like, her scent, like, washed over him and he would have known that that was his family even if he was blind. And he said even if there was another scent entwined with hers, staggeringly powerful and ancient and male. Interesting. So he can smell Rowan on her even though nothing has happened between them. So that just makes me think even more that Rowan has to be her mate, because how would his scent be entwined with hers unless it's because they're Karanam, maybe. I'm holding out hope for this relationship. So Aylin and Chaol are meeting Arobynn at the pit, like a fight ring. So Arobynn's men helped her rescue Aedion, so now she owes him a Valg prince, or one of their, like, little minions. That was, like, the bargain that they struck. So he's just invited her there where there's loads of these Valg people, like, in the crowd, and it's kind of like a reminder, like, you haven't upheld your end of the bargain now. And he's making her fight one of them in the ring because he basically wants this deal to go through, and he wants to impress the owners by showing him, this is what my assassins can do, even though she doesn't work for him anymore. I fucking hate Arobynn. I can't wait for her to kill him. Like, she better fucking kill him in this series, I swear. Arobynn has just told her the location of where they buried Sam. Oh god, I'm kind of hoping we don't get a scene where she goes and visits and has, like, this monologue that's going to make me fucking cry, but also I want her to get her closure. So Aedion is telling Aylin about how legendary Rowan is in Adarlan and the stories that they've heard about him and his cadre. And she's basically saying, like, don't tell him that because he'll never fucking let me hear the end of it. But then Aedion was thinking to himself, he wonders what Rowan expects as a member of the court. And if he expects to be offered the blood oath, then absolutely not, because he's saying the blood oath is his own by right. So basically, in Wendlin, the ruler will offer the blood oath to any of her warriors. Like, it doesn't matter how many, but apparently in Terra Sen, the blood oath is only offered to one of the warriors. And Aedion's thinking that that's his honour as her, like, first in command or whatever. She's already done a blood oath with Rowan in Wendlin, so does that not count? Like, so she's already given it away. Kale is fully like hating on Aelin, like massively. The way he speaks to her is fucking horrible. And Aedion's just basically said to him, don't ever fucking speak to her like that again. And then he was saying, we're not enemies, you can trust us, trust Aelin. And Kale said, no, I can't, not anymore. What is your problem? What is your problem, bro? Aedion's just tried to give Aelin her father's sword that he saved, found, rescued, whatever, stole back years ago, and he kept it for safekeeping for her. He just tried to give it back to her and she said, it's yours, like everything you did to get it, you deserve it. Oh. Rowan has arrived. I'm fucking buzzing. I don't know if she sent for him or if he's just turned up, but now the party started. She's washing his hair in the bath. My heart can't cope. I'm giggling so much. I'm so fucking buzzing that he's turned up here. I genuinely thought they were going to wait till they were ready to take down the tower and then she was going to like call for him. I didn't think he would just turn up. I'm so glad he did. So Rowan has just told Aedion that his dad was Gavriel, one of his cadre, because he like scented him. Gavriel asked Aelin when she was in Wendlin, how old are you? And she said 19, and she's saying now like he looked relieved when I said I was 19 because she's too young to be one of his like sires. So Gavriel is his dad? How interesting. So Rowan has let it slip that he's blood sworn to Aelin, and he obviously didn't know that Aedion wanted that honour, and he's furious. And obviously like really sad. Oh, Ty, I feel bad for him. So one of Rowan's cadre, Lorcan, has made the trip over to Adarlan, and that's why Rowan came early without waiting to be called, because Maeve has sent Lorcan, because he's still under the blood oath, to essentially come, they assume this is why, he's come to basically follow Aelin and hope that she will lead him to the word key, because Maeve obviously wants it. So Rowan has said like, if Lorcan makes a move against you, he's dead. So when Rowan and Aelin were staying in Wendlin, they shared a bed, but it was just like completely platonic. And now that he's in Adarlan, he's staying in her apartment, Aedion has the other bedroom, and Aelin has said to him, just sleep in the bed like old times. And he was like, yeah, but what will people think? And she was like, I literally don't give a shit. And in a monologue, he's saying like, she's off limits, she's off limits, she's off limits. Like he wants her. He wants her. I fucking love it. I'm actually obsessed. She's she's wearing a little lacy nightgown and he's like, what is that? She's like teasing him. He's basically said, I've never seen clothing like that. And she's like, well, so curious about my negligees, Prince. Whatever would the others say? She said, if Lorcan is going to murder me in my sleep, I might as well look good. And he said, you're vain until the bitter end. She said, is there a specific colour you'd like me to wear? If I'm going to scandalise you, I should at least do it in something you like. And he said, you're a menace. And then he's answered, told her what colour. Oh, I'm here for it. Aelin has just played the piano for Rowan, and he got like teary and was like, show me how you did that. So they spent an hour sat together on the bench so she could show him like the basics of playing the piano. My heart! She snuck out in the middle of the night and she's lured Lorcan into the sewers where the Valgs have been meeting, and she pretended that she had the word key. And she lured Lorcan into the trap so that he had to then fight them and she left. But he's fucking caught her and now he's smashed her face into a wall and is threatening to kill her. Rowan's found her. And he's put a knife to Lorcan's throat. So she left him asleep in bed. Obviously, he's known that she wasn't there, so he's come to find her. Because he'll always find her. Okay, I'm calling it quits for the night. So they've gone back to the apartment and Rowan's basically said, like, the next time you try and sneak out, don't even bother. Like, you better tell me, because you're not going by yourself. I'm honestly loving it, especially now that Rowan's in the picture. Day 14. We're officially 2 weeks in. I still have 3 books to go. I was definitely a bit optimistic with my timeline, but I'm hoping to finish this today. Can I finish this today? So Lysandra is a shapeshifter. She's just officially introduced herself to Rowan, and she said, like, I like your fangs, and he said, are you studying them so that you can basically copy them when you shapeshift? And then Aedion and Aelin were like, she's not been able to do it since magic was taken away from Adarlan, but she's a shapeshifter, like, what the fuck? Arobynn is done being patient and now he's demanding that Aelin, Aedion and Rowan meet him for dinner and bring the Valg that he's been promised. So they're going out to catch it. They've gone into the the sewers where Lorcan fought the Wordhound, like the Valg like general whatever. And he's ripped it apart, so she's picked up his arm and she's waved it at Rowan with, with its like dead fingers, and he said, "Stop that." So she's wiggled it a bit more and she said, "It'd make a good back scratcher." The banter that she has with Rowan fucking tickles me. Oh God, Aelin's going to visit Sam's grave and she's asked Rowan to go with her. She's basically just said her kind of goodbyes to Sam and like that she'll always love him and miss him, and has told Rowan that she's going to kill Arobynn tonight. So they're going to deliver the Valg, have dinner, and then when he's gone to bed she's going to go back to the keep and kill him. I'm scared. Do you know what I've been wondering? So Aelin and Rowan have these silent conversations all the time and they just seem to understand what the other's saying, and I'm wondering, is it actually some sort of mind connection? Like, are they actually having these conversations, not just imagining what the other would be saying? Like, are they actually speaking? It's kind of coming across that way. I fucking hope so. I fucking love an internal like mate bond channel thing. Arobynn is such a fucking bastard. He's having the meeting at his house in the same cell in the dungeon that Sam's body was kept in, just to fucking torture her mentally. I hate him so much. I swear to God, she better be able to kill him tonight. This man needs to die. Like, he needs to die. Oh my God, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. She was just about to leave. She just got her family's amulet back, and Arobynn has put the fucking wordstone ring that he just cut off that demon's hand and put it on her finger, and now he's like controlling her. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? This is unacceptable. Oh my God, thank God. It was a fake ring. She's not under a spell. Oh my God. My heart could not actually cope with that. I actually felt fucking sick then. So it sounds like Aelin is letting Lysandra be the one to kill Arobynn, and Chaol has gone there to make sure everything goes smoothly. So Arobynn obviously thinks he's got Selena under his thumb with the ring, so he hopefully will have gone to bed thinking like he's safe and sound, and Lysandra's gonna be the one to do it, which I'm kind of glad, because obviously he killed Wesley and she was in love with him. So as much as I wanted Aelin to get her revenge on him because she fucking deserved it, I do think Lysandra also deserves it. It's mad how I've come to actually like her in this book when I hated her in The Assassin's Blade like so much. Oh God. So Selena and Rowan were just like hugging on the roof, and then she realised that she's like, that she wants him, and she put her hands on his face and that and like ran it down his tattoo, and he's like grabbed her wrist and he was like, don't touch me like that. And she was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And she was like, I didn't mean, like, it was nothing. And he said, good, fine. And they've both like parted ways, and she was like, shit, what have I done? Gosh, she's thinking like, he's 300 years old, like, and he had this mate who he's lost. Oh, of course he doesn't want me. Oh. But his POVs, he very much does want her. I don't know what's holding him back. Lysandra has killed Arobynn. She slit his throat in bed. Thank you, God. There are some small miracles. Fucking Arobynn has left everything, every single thing, to Aelin, to Selena, in his will. The house, his fortune, everything. So that means that she's gonna have money now to like fund her army. So this has actually worked out really, really well. Aelin has switched out Arabynn's will. That's how she's got everything. She's been going to the bank for these appointments, and she's been learning the layout and then sneaking out in the middle of the night, going like God knows where, it hasn't explained. And she's been going to switch the will to make sure that she got everything so that she could fund her army. Like, this girl is an absolute fucking mastermind. So they've just found catacombs underneath the sewers. They're basically looking for this hellfire stuff, which is essentially like stuff they can use to create a bomb, and that's what they're going to use to bring down the clock tower. So they found it, but they split up, and her and Rowan have just found this place of like confession that Gavin, the first king, used to go to. His like last words have been like etched there, and basically they've just discovered that the first war 1,000 years ago, whenever Elena and Gavin were alive, there was a Valg king that they fought, and the story says that they killed him, but it turns out they haven't actually killed him. They've buried him under a mountain, and the mountain was called the Black Mountain, and apparently in the old language that translates to Morath, and Morath is where Lord Perrington is doing all the experiments on the witches, and they're taking all the prisoners that they're putting the rings on to control them. They're sending all of them to Morath. The king basically is going to try and resurrect this Valg king to fucking destroy the world, and that's why they're using Morath as like their base of operations. Shit. So it turns out Lorcan is actually in town. He does want to get the word keys, but he doesn't want to give them to Maeve. He wants to destroy it because Maeve wants to use it to become a god. I don't know how she would do that, but she wants to become a god. And the ring that Aelin traded Rowan's freedom for wasn't actually sentimental value. Apparently, the person who wears that ring is immune from being corrupted by the Valg. Aelin essentially handed her her own immunity, but Lorcan has stolen the ring and fled because even though he's like bloodbound to Maeve, in his mind he's trying to protect the queen, so he's taken the ring to bargain with Aelin. Give me your word key and I'll give you the ring, because he wants to destroy the word keys. The plot just constantly thickens. I don't want to have an audience when I make you moan, Aelin. Can't cope. I am not well. Oh, nothing like a little death threat to make people reevaluate their feelings. I'm very glad Rowan has finally admitted that he wants her. That line though, that is fucking criminal. Arobynn, in his fucking will, sent a letter to the king telling them that Lysandra's a shapeshifter, so she's been fucking kidnapped. Her little charge Evangeline has turned up at the warehouse where Aelin, Aedion and Rowan are staying and has told them that they've taken her. Like, the Valg princes are probably feeding on her and all sorts, so they're going to work with Chaol and Nesrin to try and get her back, but I don't want another person that I like to die. I don't want Lysandra to die. I couldn't have cared less if she died in book 1, but I really don't want her to die now. Dorian. He's possessed by this Valg, but he's like taunting Manon the witch, and his own voice is coming through for once, and he's really surprised about it. So I don't know if it's his voice, but the Valg is still controlling him, but the Valg seems to be saying in his mind, don't speak to it, like as in Manon, like don't get close to her for some reason. I don't know if she's like the key to like breaking him free or whatever, but anyway, he's smiling at her and she was like, is there a reason you're smiling at me? And he said, do I need a reason to smile at a beautiful woman? And she says, I'm not a woman. And you? She sniffed him and said man or demon, and he said prince. And then he says, I've never been with a witch. And she says, I've been with plenty of men, you're all the same, you taste the same. And he says, I dare you. He's like trying to rile her up to kill him. And she said, I think not, prince, but would you bleed red or black? And he says, I'll bleed whatever colour you tell me to. Can't cope. Even with his body possessed, this man has riz. Oh, Dorian's just remembered his own name. He's fully still in there. Oh, I hope they help him. So they've rescued Lysandra, and then Chaol has run off after fucking Dorian to try and kill him because he's realised that he's like too far gone. He obviously didn't realise he was still in there, and he's been captured by the fucking witches and they're about to rip his throat out. So they've all run after him, and now Aelin has given herself up to save Chaol and has outed herself as Aelin Galathinius, and they've said you're the Queen of Terrasen, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm scared! So the witches know that she killed Baba Yellowlegs, so now they're trying to kill her, and they've shot an arrow at her and it's gone through fucking Rowan's shoulder. He's took an arrow for her. So they were pretty even matched in their fight, and then the temple and that started crumbling and Manon got trapped, so something inside of Aelin told her you need to save her, so she saved her. They've all like fled basically and they've left her there, and now Manon's like, fucking hell, my enemies saved me, so now I owe her a debt kind of thing. I think Manon is finally ready to let the witches fight against their orders. Go on, girls. Let's fucking team up with Aelin and Rowan. Oh, Aelin's paid off Lysandra's debt to Clarice, so her and Evangeline are free. Rowan has just met with Lorcan on the roof of Aelin's apartment, and he's made a bargain with him for the ring in exchange for the word key. Rowan's made the exchange, and then he's gone back and got into bed with Aelin, and she said well, and he's handed her the ring, and then she said how mad is Lorcan going to be when he eventually opens it up and realises we gave him a fake. I thought like Rowan was going behind her back. I thought she's going to be fucking fuming. But they do need that ring, because if that gives her immunity, that means she can't be controlled by any of the rings or collars, then obviously they need that. They've just kissed, and it was barely even a kiss, but it was fucking everything. she pulled away and he said it again, and she said, if we live through tomorrow, you'll get the rest. So they've gone to bed and she said, you make me want to live, Rowan, not survive, not exist, live. And they've just like cuddled all night because they've got the battle tomorrow, like they're going to take down the tower. Oh, help me. Oh my god, so Manon and Asterin, her second, flew to Rifthold the other night to do something and it didn't tell you what, and now Aelin has just gone out the morning that they're set to infiltrate the castle, take down the tower and try to kill Dorian to free him, and the witches have written a message saying witch killer, the human is still inside him, so that's repaying her life debt now. She's warned them that your friend is still in there, don't kill him essentially. So she's just ran to find Chaol and let him know like Dorian's in there, so they need to save him. Oh god. So she's taken Chaol to see the king and is pretending to be Selena, and then she's just given him her little like spiel, and the king said, I do wonder who's been conspiring more, the captain or you, champion, or should I call you Aelin? He fucking knows who she is. Oh god. Oh, I'm stressed. Adian and Rowan have taken the bombs essentially and dropped them right under the clock tower. They were just unrolling like the spools that they need to light, and fucking Lorcan didn't kill the word hounds. He fucking tore a piece of Rowan's cloak off and has given them his scent, so they've tracked him there. And they need to light it, so they're not going to be able to light it while they're fucking right there, but they're going to have to fight their way out, and now all the timings are going to be messed up for when they light the bomb and set it off. Oh, please. Give me strength. So Chaol has bought her time with the king so that she could lead Dorian away. So Dorian's like chasing her and she's leading him out of the castle. And Chaol's same hand to try and kill the king, but there's no way he can kill the king. I think the king's gonna turn him, like gonna collar him or something. Like there was no way in hell Chaol was gonna take on the king and win, no way. So he's like giving himself up to make sure that Dorian could get out. Like what the fuck? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Dorian's advancing on her and she's trying to like pull him back and remind him of like Sorsha and Chaol and that. She's trying to like coax him out. And she said, I came back for you just like I promised. And he said, I don't care. And then he's fucking stabbed her in the side. My heart is going pitter patter, pitter patter. I'm really nervous. Lorcan has appeared and helped Rowan and Adion fight the word hounds. So they've killed them all now. So they're running to light the fuse, even if it means that they don't get out in time because they know too much time has passed since it was supposed to go off. And then Rowan's been hit by a phantom pain and he knows it's not his wound, he knows that it's Aelin. Magic is free again. I'm really hoping that this now gives Aelin the upper hand, please. I really don't want her to have to kill Dorian. Aelin has slipped the ring onto Dorian's finger, the one that she got from Lorcan, basically, the one that will protect people from being overtaken by the demon. So I think it's like trying to push the demon out, I don't know. I think she might be getting Dorian back. Please, please, please. Oh my god, so I'm getting palpitations, I swear to god. Adian and Rowan were basically outnumbered by the Valgs. They've set off the bomb, obviously, they've got away, but then there's like hundreds of Valg commanders, whatever, soldiers under there. Lorcan has got away and they were basically about to die, and Adian said to him like, it's been an honour. Rowan had like whispered Aelin's name and they were prepared to die, and the commander of the Valgs was about to like give the word and his hand was ripped off by a ghost leopard. And they were talking a while ago with Lysandra around the table about like what's a ghost leopard, and Adion explained what it is and she said, oh, if magic ever comes back then I need to try and turn into one of them. So she was on her way out of town with Evangeline and magic has come back and she's come back to help them. I think the king's killed Chaol. Oh, please. That might bring Dorian back though. Dorian's got free. But I think Chaol's dead. Oh my god. So Aelin and Dorian have just created this like magical event. I don't even know what's really happened. They've joined hands and then let off this like big boom of power, and it's shattered the king's own black ring. If he's to be believed, he's been possessed by one of these demon things for years, so it wasn't actually him doing all these evil things, it was the demon inside him, the Valg inside him. And he's saying he opened a crypt with a key and he came and he took Perrington's body. So Aelin's now saying Erewhon is Freya, who is like the big bad king of the Valgs. They thought the king and Parrington were working to try to free him from underneath this mountain. But if the king's to be believed, he's already free and he's in Parrington's body, so he's the one been fucking calling all the shots this whole time. My mind is blown. The king has said that Chaol is alive. Thank you, God. Oh my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dorian has shattered the entire glass castle. Like, the whole thing's come crumbling down, and they were on one of the glass bridges, so that's fallen as well. But she felt wind like pushing her up, so Rowan's transformed into his hawk and flown out of the catacombs, and he's obviously used his wind magic to make sure that she didn't like plummet to her death. So the king is actually dead. Chaol is definitely alive, so is Dorian. Aelin has just addressed the people and told them who she is, and that she's taken control of the city until Dorian is ready to take up his mantle, basically. And if anybody dares have slaves, if anybody wants to riot or whatever, she'll fucking kick their asses. I love to see it. Manon has just saved Elide and they ran into Caltaine, and she's cut open her arm and pulled something out and wrapped it in a cloth and given it to Elide, and she said, you need to find Selena Sardothian and give her this and tell her that you can open any door if you have the key. I think that's one of the word keys. Parrington has sewed it into Caltaine's skin, and he's told her that he was planning to put all three of them in her so that she would be a key, a person, instead of having them as objects. So I'm assuming now Manon is going to take Elide to Rifthold. Obviously they'll hopefully realise that Selena is Aelin, and that means she'll have 2 word keys because she's got the other one in her amulet. Ooh, the turn of the tide. Caltaine has destroyed Morath, all of the witches who were experimented on, all of the like evil creature babies, like all the gods, everyone. She's just ruined it and killed herself, and has allowed like the 13 and that to get away. So Chaol's awake and he's like paralysed. Dorian has made him the king's hand and has said go to, there's some other like place, village, country that they can travel to where they have healers, and they think that they'll be able to fix him, hopefully. So Nesrin has just been to see him and was like crying, and they've basically said that they're going to give it a go and she'll go with him to get healed. They've just made it home to Terrasen, and they've just got to the top of the hill to look over at like the scenery, and she said the smell is of pine and snow. How would she never realise that Rowan's scent was of Terrasen? Because Rowan smells of pine and snow. Like, it's just meant to be. Finished. I loved it. As always, I need to think about my rating, but I'm going to go and write my little review. Day 15, we are moving on to the tandem read. So the order is Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, but my best friend who's read this series said that she found this one a little bit boring and she wished that she'd read them as the tandem read. So I've found, well, I haven't found, that's a complete lie. She has found me the reading order for which chapters, because it's not one chapter of this, one chapter of this. It's like quite a few chapters of this, a couple of this, and like they're interwoven. So basically it's 2 separate locations, I believe, but on the same timeline, so it makes sense to read them together. So I've never done this with a book before, so I'm actually really intrigued to flip between the 2. To be honest, I'm just excited to read more after them arriving in Terrasen, so let's get into it. It's 7:20 and I'm only now sitting down to read for the first time. So I have the reading order. I'm going to read up to chapter 5 of Empire of Storms, and I'm going to read the first chapter of Tower of Dawn. Let's go. I'm so excited. I've been waiting all day to dive back in. So Lorcan is tracking Elide through the forest because he thinks that she's possessed. I think he's sensing the word key that she's got, and he still doesn't realise that the amulet that Rowan traded him is a fake one. He still thinks he's got one. He's going to go mental when he realises he doesn't have one. Aww. Aelin has just admitted to herself that she's been in love with Rowan for a while. I can't wait for them to get it on. I actually cannot wait. He said to her as soon as we get somewhere safe, somewhere defensible, basically, you're mine. So Erawan, the Valg king who was possessing Parrington, has like shed his body now, and I don't know if he's possessed somebody else's body or if this is like his true form or whatever, but he looks different now. And he's instructed Manon and the witches to go to Rifthold and like destroy the city basically, and like tear down the wall that Aelin had built and stuff and destroy them. And Manon is now telling her 13, we need to get there before the other clans and try and staunch the slaughter basically, like, so, because they don't want to actually leave it in wreck and ruin. And she said, leave the prince to me and stop anybody who tries to kill him basically, because I think she secretly has a little soft spot for Dorian. This Darrow guy is making me so Angry. He's making me so fucking angry. Oh my god, the way he's speaking to her. I fucking hate men. Basically saying like he's insulted her all evening, literally insulted her down to the ground, and has basically said, we don't recognise you as queen, and like there's nothing you can do about it, and none of the houses agree, so like basically you can remain a princess but you're not our queen. Go serve in Aedion's bane but you're not welcome in Orinth. Who the fuck are you, hun? So they've got word that the witches are riding for Rifthold, flying for Rifthold, and they know basically that they can't lose Dorian. So Rowan is flying there because they can't make it back because they're now in Terrasen. They're not going to make it back in time. So Rowan has gone to save Dorian and obviously left them all behind because he can't take them. Oh, I hate it when they separate. When Aelin and Rowan were saying goodbye to each other, they kissed and hugged, and it says, and through the rain and fire and ice, through the dark and lightning and thunder, a word flickered into her head, an answer and a challenge and a truth she immediately denied, ignored, not for herself, but for him. I think, because I've said all along, that I think that they're mates. Obviously it's been confirmed that they're Karanam, but not that they're mates, and I think that one word is mate. I think that Rowan's getting another chance at having a mate hundreds of years later. I'm still convinced that they're going to be mates. Please, oh please. Okay, as per the reading guide, I've read the first 5 chapters of Empire Storm. Now I need to read the first chapter of Tower of Dawn. So the witches are on their way to Rifthold. Dorian's just seen them flying in, and then it's gone to Manon's POV, and the other witches, the Yellowlegs, had arrived there first. She said that she bet that they'd received their orders to stop, but only once Manon arrived. So before she got there, they were allowed to basically do what they want, and they're like trying to destroy the city. So I hope they don't cause too much destruction before she manages to get them to stop. So the Yellowlegs wyverns have taken down the glass wall. Dorian has killed some of them with his magic, but then one of them has burst through the wall into his room. Wyvern's tail has whipped him, and he's bleeding, and I think they've poisoned him. And she was just dismounting off her wyvern to kill him, and then Manon has appeared with a Abraxos and cut off her head, and now she's told Dorian to get up off the floor. Rowan's arrived. He's just sort of tried to kill Manon, and Dorian said no. So Rowan has got Dorian out, and he's like hiding him in a boat, and he's flying above and using his wind power to sail them away. And Chaol has arrived in, I can't remember the name of the land, but the land where he's gonna try to forge an alliance between that kingdom and Adarlan, and also get healed for his spinal injury. So far so good. Day 16, I'm literally just stopping for my dinner break now. I'm gonna spend the entire time reading. So the king of this other land where Chaol has gone to try and get them to basically support Rifthold has no interest in helping them fight. He said he would sooner join forces with Perrington than them, and then has told them basically his spies have informed him that Aelin used to be an assassin, so she's not fit to be queen, and also that the witches have basically ransacked Rifthold and Dorian has fled. So Chaol and Nesrin are now stranded there, and she's thinking like, we shouldn't have come because my family are back there and now I can't do anything, that they could be dead and I wouldn't be any the wiser. It's not looking promising. So one of the healers at the place where Chaol and Nesrin are is that girl Irene from the Assassin's Blade. Selena at the time saved her. She worked in a pub and she saved her from a load of men and like killed them all, and then gave her money. She gave her ruby brooch or something so that she could like pawn it and get away from Rifthold. And she's made it to this land and now she's a healer. And I remember her saying, she was telling Selena that her mum used to be a healer, but then obviously magic disappeared. So she's made it here. So I love how it's all like connected. The like lead healer has asked Irene to be the one to assess Chaol, and because the king's men killed her mother years ago, she's basically said like, no, like he used to be the captain of the guard, he worked for the king, I'm not healing him. But she's talked her out of it. She's agreed she'll go and assess him tomorrow. So that's where we're at. Day 17. I really am hoping to get through a lot more today. So it's Friday, I've got my dinner break, and then I can stay up as late as I want tonight because I don't have to be up early tomorrow. So, oh my god. So I've actually really come to like Manon and her 13. Now that I know that they're probably going to stand against Erwan and there's potentially something going to be brewing between Manon and Dorian. So Manon's obviously killed a witch to save Dorian so he could get away with Rowan. So she's on trial now with the elders, like the ancestors, and she's got away with killing him, but her grandmother has said, like, your second Asterin is gonna get killed instead. Like, you spilled blood, so now other blood must be shed. So Asterin, oh no, that woman suffered enough, leave her alone. So Rowan and Dorian are in the boat together sailing to Skulls Bay. They're gonna meet with that Rolf, the pirate guy. They've just had a little heart-to-heart about, like, Rowan's basically told him that his mate was killed. And then Dorian's asked Rowan, will you teach me how to use my magic? And he said, I'll teach you what I can before we arrive in Skulls Bay, and then we may find somebody better suited there. And he said, you taught Aelin. And Rowan said, Aelin is my heart. I taught her what I knew, and it worked because our magics understood each other deep down, just as our souls did. I need to know what this bond is. I need to know. Like, please. So Aelin, Aedion and Lysandra are going to claim back her temple on, like, the outskirts of Terrasen. It's been claimed by Adolanian soldiers, and she's basically said, like, get the hell out of my temple. And they were like, absolutely not. So she said, like, leave now or die. And then a few of them have left, but then this one commander is like, absolutely not, we're not going anywhere, basically, it's just parlour tricks. And he was like, let's see what you've got then. So she literally just blew at him like she was blowing out a candle, like, and she's roasted him from the inside out. He's fucking burnt alive and literally just burst into ash. Fucking here for it. Oh, would you look at that? They took the temple back in 20 minutes. So the old overseer of Endovia has just turned up as a Valg to the temple after they've defeated all the soldiers, and she's had a message from Brannon, the first, like, king, to go to some place to find a fucking lock. That's where she needs to take all the word keys. This overseer's turned up, so she's tried to fight him with her magic, and then she felt like her magic felt inside him that he was, like, hollow, and his chest has just burst open, and fucking Erwan is, like, peering from inside this guy, so he's like fully controlling him and she can like see just his eyes inside. Like, what the fuck? This guy, I'm really scared that this guy is gonna kill, he's not even a guy, he's not even fucking human, this Valg is gonna kill a lot of people. I'm really scared that the reason people cry when they read Kingdom of Ash is because, like, I just have a bad feeling Aedion's gonna die, I think Lysandra's gonna die, and I think Chaol's gonna die in the last book. I don't know why, I'm really worried. I don't want any of them to die. So it's Asterin's execution. Manon's grandmother has had Iskra, that fucking horrible wench, beat her. It looks like she's been absolutely battered. And now the grandmother's expecting Manon to kill her. I really hope she doesn't do it. Oh fuck, Manon has just killed her grandmother instead. Oh shit. Like, I'm really glad her grandmother was fucking evil, but Jesus, like, I think she's just chosen a side. Scratch what I just said. The grandmother's not dead, but she did strike her with the sword. Now they're fighting. I think she'll kill her. Okay, I'm calling it a night there. It's 20-1. So Manon did end up killing her grandmother, but she managed to save Asterin. She's escaped with the 13. They've managed to kill the witches that were, like, pursuing them and get away, but Manon has, like, succumbed to her injuries, so she's just passed out, but I'm really hoping she's not going to die because she needs to have something with Dorian. Because I've got this in my head now and I need this to come to fruition. If they can just hurry that along, that would be great. We're on day 18. I'm hoping to get through quite a bit today. It's Saturday. I'm only just sitting down to read now and it's 4 o'clock. Like, I've been busy today. Elide and Lorcan are pretending to be husband and wife so they can, like, have passage through with a carnival troupe. And there's obviously going to be something between them two. There's no way they're parting ways when they get to their destination. I think Chaol is going to have something with Irene the healer, and I think Nesrin is going to stay in Antica because her family are there. I think her dad and her sisters and whoever's over in Rifthold have obviously survived the attack from the witches and fled somewhere. I think they're going to make their way to Antica. And Nesrin's going to stay there and potentially have something with that Prince Sartak. Just romance everywhere, a turn. Rowan and Dorian are meeting with Rolf, the pirate lord, and 2 Fey males have just arrived in the room, and it's Gavriel and Fenris. So Gavriel is going to get to meet his son Aedion, and I'm actually really excited for that reunion. I don't know why, he obviously doesn't even know he exists, but I'm excited for it. Rowan has just told Gavriel that he's got a son, and he said he's on his way to Skulls Bay, so basically, they've basically told him that the reason they're there is because Maeve has told them to come and kill Lorcan for, like, deserting. They've said, you need to help us first and then you can go and do whatever you need to do with Lorcan, but like if you don't help us then your son could potentially die in this war, so emotionally blackmailing him. But that means they're definitely gonna meet. It's day 20. I am absolutely fucking fuming. My camera has decided to put itself into S&Q mode, which films things in slow motion and doesn't record any sound at all. So even if I could speed up the clips, the sound is not recoverable. And it's done that, I've only just realised, from the end of day 18 and all of yesterday. So all of the footage that I filmed yesterday is not usable. There was like just so many really prominent things that have happened and I wanted to include them in this vlog and they're just gone and I'm really fucking annoyed. But there's literally nothing I can do about it, so let's just crack on. I think before I carry on, I'm gonna try and like recap some of the things that have happened that I'd recorded. So Tower of Dawn, Irene has been making very slow progress on Kale's back, so he started to regain some movement in his toes, which is really good. One of the Valgs is like in Antica and has been chasing her through the castle, and she made it to Kale's room, and by the time the guards got there, it was gone, so they're like on the hunt for that. And then Nesrin and Sartak have gone, they've flown away on his bird, Kadara, to like one of the tribes. They've gone away to this temple where basically those, you know, the spiders that make that really strong silk, they are essentially tied to the Valgs as well. So they've gone to this temple to find some information and the spider nearly killed them. And there's another shapeshifter, a guy who was in the Assassin's Blade. He was the one who'd sold 20 years of his life for like 100 yards of this silk from the spiders, and he's now in it as well, so it's all tied together. Parts of this one are a little bit boring, but because I am doing it as a tandem and breaking it up with Empire of Storms, I'm still enjoying it, so I definitely would recommend anybody who is going to read this series to do it as the tandem read 100%. And then Empire of Storms, this book is honestly giving me life. I love it so much, like I've been living for these chapters. Aelin and Rowan are reunited, they're all in Skull's Bay now. They're trying to get Rolf on side and Aelin has basically offered him an alliance between them. He obviously still wanted to kill her from when her and Sam like basically destroyed his city years ago. So a load of Valgs were coming on ships to like basically kill them all. So they had the battle at sea. Lysandra shifted into this sea dragon and fought against a load of sea wyverns and she was nearly killed, and Aedion was like, his heart was in his throat because I really think he has feelings for her, and he told her when she was like barely conscious on the beach, he told her that I'm gonna marry you, and it really got me. Aedion and Gavriel have had their really awkward reunion. Aedion basically told him to go to hell because his mum died to make sure Maeve didn't know about him, and where were you kind of thing, even though Gavriel obviously didn't know about him, so it's not really his fault, but Aedion has his feels, which is fair. Aelin used her power to battle against the Valgs at sea. She like tunneled deep and her and Rowan did their Karanan bond so that she could draw from his power, but because she was wearing the word key around her neck, Diana, one of the gods, one of the first people with power, possessed her basically and tried to destroy Skull's Bay. Not just the Valgs, but she managed to claw power back because Rowan stepped in front of her. And then her and Rowan had the steamiest moment on the beach. That scene was fucking everything. It was actually everything. And the things that Rowan said to her. Let me see if I can find it because honestly, I was so here for it. They both told each other that they love each other and it was everything I wanted it to be. And he said, I love you. There is no limit to what I can give you, no time I need. Even when this world is a forgotten whisper of dust between the stars, I will love you. Oh, fuck. They obviously all survived this battle and then they're now sailing to the outskirts of Aelwy. Basically, Maeve has sent her forces there and they're not sure if she plans to like attack or what her plans are, but obviously that was Nehemia's family's territory. So Aelin is obviously like, I can't let them, I made a promise, I can't let her destroy them. So they're gonna go there, but they're also looking for this lock, which is where if they put all the word keys in this lock, they can basically trap Erwan. Honestly, just so much has happened. I'm so annoyed this footage is fucking gone. They're on their way, they're at sea, and then all of a sudden a wyvern had appeared and it was Manon and Abraxos and she's passed out and basically she told him, take us somewhere safe, and he's brought her to Dorian. So she's now on the ship with them and Aelin's basically said, you're our prisoner, we're not letting you go, and she's chained up and stuff, but they've healed her and Dorian has been sitting with her and stuff and he's like, hello witchling, and she says, hello princeling. I love it. Just, yeah, just so much has happened, so So Alid and Lorcan have discovered that Aelin is not in Terrasen and that she's possibly going to like Aelwy. So they're now gonna go in that direction instead of her going north to find her. For fuck's sake. Alid and Lorcan have just stolen this guy's boat to get out of the town, and they basically said, we'll drop you off at a bend, and Alid was hiding and Lorcan's just said get out, and then he's heard a splash and she's come out and he said, oh, the guy's swimming back to shore, but he didn't look her in the eye and his hands were wet, and she was like, why would his hands be wet? As if he's like washed them in the river, and she said, you killed him, didn't you? He said he would let the man go and he's just killed him anyway. Oh fuck, Lorcan's realised that the amulet that he got from them doesn't actually have the word key in it. And he's told Alid that Selena and Aelin are the same person, and that she's basically a murderer and an assassin, so she's no better than I am. Oh my god, I'm fucking obsessed. They're having an intimate moment, and Rowan says, I love you. I'd walk into the burning heart of hell itself to find you. If it's not this, I don't want it. Manon and Dorian. He's basically gone into her room and she's finally woken up, and she said like, if I had been asleep, would you have lingered to stare at me for a while? And he said, would you have objected? She said, if you plan to sneak in here in the darkest hours of the night, you should at least have the decency to ensure I'd get something out of it. And he said, as tempting as seeing you naked and chained might be, I don't think you'd enjoy the loss of control. Oh. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed. They've had a bit of back and forth. Their banter is actually elite. Like, the tension between them. I am obsessed, I am. And I have no shame in admitting that. Oh my god, so Dorian left her there, and then she was fuming, and then the door opened again and he was back, and he locked the door behind himself, and they'd agreed to get it on basically. So she starts undoing her top and he's like, I'll do that, but she carries on and he stops her with invisible hands. He said, I will do that. I suggest you listen. He goes over to her, he gives her like a feather-like kiss, and then he pulls away and he's like, maybe another night, witchling, and fucking leaves her there. Okay. I see you, Dorian. Oh fuck. Everyone knows that Aelin has the word key. He'll be coming to get that off her. And then Alid is going to be bringing the third one to her as well. Oh shit. I'm scared because Alid and Lorcan have stopped in a little fishing town, and I literally look naked. And she needed to get some supplies because she's got her period basically, and she wanted to get some new clothes as well, and the shopkeeper has made her go into the back to try them on, even, and something in her mind is telling her to run. And Lorcan has bought some food and stuff, and the guy who he'd bought them off had said, oh, take some pears for the lovely lady, but Lorcan hadn't taken a lead with him, they'd separated, so how does he know that he's with another girl? So she's gone into the dressing room and the candle's been lit, and her uncle Vernon is sat across from her, the one who tried to make her be like an experiment. Please don't let him take her. Oh. Alid has just grabbed her uncle's knife and she was gonna try and kill herself rather than let them take her back. But Lorcan was watching and he threw his hatchet, which knocked the knife out of her hand. He's not letting her kill herself, and now he's fighting the Ilken and she's fighting as well because he's come to save her. So Alid has showed Lorcan the word key and he's realised what it was, and instead of taking it from her, which I thought he would, he's told her to put it away, and he's basically said, I will always find you and protect you, basically, like he's made a promise to her. And then she's kissed him on the cheek and said, I will always find you too. Why am I such a sap for a good romance? There's so many romances throughout this series and I'm just fucking shipping them all. So Chaol's just got himself into a meeting with the Kagan and tried to talk him into helping with the army again, and this man is so fucking stubborn and determined. He made his guards drag Chaol out in his chair, which is proper tight because he can't obviously stand, and he told them like don't touch it, and they just wheeled him out. Chaol has just managed to stand up with Irene's help, but they were having a fucking argument and he's just said some really horrible things to her and it's really hurt her, so she started to leave and back away. And he was thinking like everyone in his life he's let them walk out. He's let Aelin, Dorian, Nesrin, he'd let them go and not gone after them, but with Irene. He feels like he has to go after her, so as she's reaching for the door, he's taken a step by himself. Is he about to like chase after her and make a grand declaration? Oh. They're kissing now. He's apologised to her and said like, I didn't mean any of the things I said, I was basically talking about myself. And he's kissed her. So Aelin and Rowan and the gang have just found the altar where they think this lock thing is. And then they've received a blast of power, which is Lorcan's warning. Rowan's like climbed up to the top to have a look over, like to see what's coming, and they've seen there's a whole fucking legion of 500 Ilkin on their way. So there's about to be a battle ensuing, and then it's switched to Lorcan's POV and him and a leader running. I think they're trying to find the gang, so I think there's about to be like a Marvel team up. But as long as none of my Pookies get killed, I'm alright with it. So Aelin has blasted the Ilkin to Kingdom Come. Lorcan has protected a lead with like a shield from the blast. The rest of them were like shooting them down from the sky and stuff, and then Aelin's like depleted her power. Rowan has walked out into like the marsh to get her basically, because obviously when she's drained she's like basically ready to collapse. So Rowan like kissed her in the middle of the marsh, and all the flames had died down from her body except for a crown of flames, and then when Rowan kissed her, a crown of flames appeared on his head as well. And Lorcan was watching, and now him and a lead are making their way over there. Lorcan said, let's go and say hello, but he's obviously got ulterior motives, so how's this reunion gonna go? I know that Aelin is very excited to be reunited with a lead, but Lorcan's just a bit of a bastard, isn't he? To everyone except a lead, so let's see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna call it a night there. I swear to God, if I don't finish these books tomorrow, I don't want this to drag on. I'm ready to finish these. I'm ready to start Kingdom of Ash. Day 21. We're officially 3 weeks in. Technically, I only have one book left. I don't feel like I'm doing too bad. I know obviously I'd said originally that I wanted to do it in 2 weeks, but I still think this is good going, to be honest. Mark my words, I'm finishing these today. If it kills me, I'm finishing these today and starting Kingdom of Ash tonight. So Aelin has said to Gavriel and Fenris that if they attack Elide or Lorcan or try to kill them, then it's going to be an act of war against her. So it's managed to like temporarily stay their hands in terms of their orders from Maeve. So I think now she's got 2 word keys, so they're going to have a look at this lock thing and see what it's saying, basically. The gang's all together. They're all going to be working together. Fucking hell, so the lock isn't even in there. There's just like a witch mirror. So basically, not this particular one they found. They're taking it with them to see like what it does, but Erewhon has been crafting these witch mirrors with the help of, I'm assuming, Baba Yellowlegs before she was killed. So they can point it at certain things and then like power can flow through the mirrors. So that I think that's how he's planning to, well, one of the ways he's planning to win the war, because he's building towers lined with these witch mirrors. The devastation is just going to be like absolutely crazy. So they've just made it back to their ship, and when they've got to like the beach, there's a load of warriors there and somebody in a grey cloak. So Aelin's like, let's go approach, and everyone else is like, but they're about to attack us. She's gone down there and it's fucking Ansel, the girl from the Silent Assassin's Keep, who had like betrayed them and tried to kill the Silent Master, and then Aelin let her go in the end. Everybody from book 1 is coming back in this series, and I fucking love it. I love how it's all connected. Like, is she gonna be a new ally now? Like a chance to redeem herself after what she did all those years ago? I hope so. I really liked Ansel until she turned a traitor. Aedion and Lysandra just had a little moment. She's basically said, my history is unappealing to you, and he said, I'm gonna stop you right there. There's nothing about you that's unappealing. Like, I've been with just as many people, women and men. I've seen and tried it all. Like, I find pleasure in both depending on my mood and the person. Attraction is attraction. Aedion, that is hot. So Chaol and Irene are in the desert. One of the princesses has thrown her like a birthday party with a load of people that she doesn't even know in the middle of the desert. So they've just gone there, and her and Chaol raced on the horses, and he said, if I win, then I get a kiss when and where of my choosing. And she was like, what do you mean by where? And he just rode off, and they've made it to their destination, and he leaned in and whispered to her, I won, by the way. So Chaol and Irene have just found this cave out in the oasis, and there's markings on the walls and stuff, and it's basically suggesting that they think the power of the healers might have some way of not necessarily defeating, but like fighting against the Valg. They're going to share the scrolls that they found with the healer on high to see if she knows anything about it. So Kaol's obviously not managed to win the favour of the Kagan yet, or even possibly at all, but he may still be able to return home with some information that could help them. Kaol and Irene have just had their little moment in the tent, and he's thought to himself, like, this is home. I knew their whole enemies to lovers thing, that she was going to be like his great love, so I really hope nothing happens to her, because I know I lost a bit of respect for Kaol somewhere in the middle, but everything that he's been through, I kind of understand where that attitude and stuff came from, so like I do want him to be happy. Oh my god, the spiders have basically cornered Sartak and Nezrin, and he's got trapped. They've been trying to like squeeze through this narrow passageway, and he's got trapped, and she couldn't pull him through. And then the spiders were there like whispering to them, and she was like, please, like, come through. He said to her, I heard the spy stories of you, the fearless Balruni woman in Adarlan's empire, Neith's arrow, and I knew I loved you before I ever set eyes on you. And she says, please, and he said, I wish we had time. And then the spiders have ripped him away. Are they gonna kill him? I really could have seen her staying there and like building a life with him with that tribe. Like, I didn't see her going back to Adarlan. So the spider has captured Nezrin. She's basically set a trap so that she thinks that Sartak is possibly still alive. So it's taken her and Falcon the shifter. He's like hidden in her pocket as a small animal. So he's starting to gnaw through the spider's webs. And one of the spiders has come in and said that basically we're waiting here for our dark majesty to return. We wait for the queen of the Valg, who in this world calls herself Maeve. Maeve is the queen of the Valg. What the actual fuck? So I'm not sure if she's working with Erwan or if they're like their enemies or what. What the fuck? What is going on? Okay, Dorian, Phantom Hands. I fucking knew something was gonna happen between Dorian and Manon. I'm not gonna lie, this scene is everything I wanted. It's everything I wanted it to be. So Maeve has got a whole fucking fleet of ships that's just come out to meet the gang. She's got like 3 times the ships and all of her Fey warriors there with magic, and obviously Aelin, Rowan, Lorcan, Gavriel, Fenris are all depleted, their magic. So what the fuck? She's saying your options are surrender or die. I'm really fucking scared, like what's gonna happen? They can't fight them. What the fuck, what the fuck? Rowan has just shifted and he's flying over to Maeve's fleet by himself. No. Oh god, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna like offer to be enslaved by her again or something? Oh, please no. Please no. Oh my god, I'm stressed. So Rowan has just gone ship to ship for all of Maeve's fleet, speaking to his cousins and asking them something, but it's not told us what, and all of their responses, I will consider it. What is he asking them to do? Be like, jump ship, be on his side? Because only the cadre are blood sworn to Maeve, aren't they? So technically the others could go against her orders. Oh, now it's swapping back to Tower of Dawn. Oh my god, so Maeve is actually from the Valg's world, and she was married to one of the 3 kings, not Erwan. She found a way to like hop between worlds, came to this world, decided she wanted to stay, found these 2 queens, Mab and Mala, who like Aelin and that are descended from, and convinced them, like mind warped them to think that they'd always had a sister, and changed the minds of like all the people so that they'd always thought there was 3 queens, not 2. What the actual fuck? So she's been infiltrating the world to take over for fucking 1,000 years. Oh my god, Falcon the Shifter is Lysandra's uncle. Basically, she's told Aelin, was it Aedion? She told somebody that her mum, when she first shifted, kicked her out on the street, and that's basically how she became a courtesan, because she had no way to look after herself and she was taken in, and the magic then obviously went away, so she never had to worry about it again, but her mum didn't love her because she was a shifter. Falcon's just saying he's going to buy Sartak and Nezrin time. He's just helped them escape from the spiders where they'd got them captive, but they've ran and there's nowhere else to go, and I think he's going to distract them. And he's asking Nesrin for a favour. He said, when I was 7, my brother sired a bastard daughter off a poor woman in Rifthold and abandoned them both. It's been 20 years since, but when I was old enough to go to the city to begin my trade, I looked for her and I found the mother, and she said that she'd kicked the girl out. It's Lysandra. So Dorian has figured out that the mirror thing that they found is potentially something that will give them knowledge on how to use the word keys. So he's figured out this riddle that Deanna had said, and if Aelin and Manon go into it together, they can potentially learn how to wield the word keys to defeat Maeve's army, and they've still got some time right before dawn, so they've just stepped through it together. Why is it the last like 100 pages of every fantasy book always has me sweating, like fearing for my life? Aelin and Manon are inside the mirror, and they've just seen a clip of the past with Elena. You know, the eye of Elena that Aelin's been wearing, that is the lock. She's used it to lock a sarcophagus, Elena has. So Manon said, so you've had the lock all along, but then the mirror, and Aelin said, I think we've been deliberately misled about what we must retrieve, and I think we're about to find out. So now there's some sort of, I think this is a flashback. Oh, we're about to have some revelations. The goddesses have told Elena, because she'd wasted the lock to lock Erewhon away, apparently it was supposed to be used to send Erewhon and the goddesses back to their realm, and they would destroy him there. But Elena stole it off her dad and has run away and has used it to lock Erewhon away, and you can only use it once, so she's squandered the one time it could be used. So they've basically told her, Mala's bloodline, which is Aelin, shall bleed again to forge the lock anew, and you will lead them a lamb to the slaughter to pay the price of this choice you made to waste its power here. So you'll show this future scion how to forge a new lock, how to use it and wield the keys and send us home. We'll take the Dark King with us and tear him apart, and when we are gone, you'll show the scion how to seal the gate behind us, the lock holding it intact eternally by yielding every last drop of their life force. So Aelin has to die in order to lock Erewhon away, and Elena's never said a thing. So Rowan has managed to get his cousins, whichever ships they were on, to turn against Maeve's army. Basically the war started, the ships have started advancing, and as those ships have got closer, they've turned and started firing back at Maeve. So their army's a little bit bigger than it was, which means they've got more of a chance because Aelin and Manon haven't returned yet. Lysandra has gone underneath the ships and like destroyed some of them underneath, so they should hopefully start sinking because she's in her sea dragon form. Oh, I'm really scared. Oh my god, so they've possibly got a chance of winning this battle, and then Maeve has used her pull over Fenris and Gavriel to like call them back to her. So Fenris can obviously like blink in and out of like short distances he can travel. So he's just blinked onto the boat with Gavriel, got him, and then Gavriel's met Lorcan's eye and pointed somewhere. And then they've both blinked out, so they've gone to Maeve wherever she is, and then Lorcan's realised Maeve isn't on the ship, she's on the shore, and that's where he's fucking sent a lead. I feel unwell. Help, help, help. Okay, I'm now on the last stretch of Empire of Storms. There's no more breaks in between, so I finish this, then I finish that. Everybody just send your thoughts and prayers to me, okay? Thank you. Oh my god. What the fuck? The fucking plot thickens. It was Elena who saved Aelin as a little girl in the river. They knew then that she was going to be the one to restore the lock and have to die, basically. She was going to be the sacrifice. And it was Elena who basically led Aelin to Wendlin, knowing that she would meet Rowan. And she'd said, the Fey Prince, he was... And then Aelin said, I know, I've known for a long time. He's her mate. Like, it's not been said, but I'm telling you. And then she said, I wanted you to know that joy, however briefly. And Aelin said, I did, thank you. So she's fully accepted that she knows that she has to die for this. That is unacceptable to me. Oh my god. The Manon's 13, like the other 12, have just arrived on their wyverns. Please. Please, please, please kill them all. Maeve has got one of her soldiers to put a knife to Elid's throat, and Lorcan is basically, he was the one who summoned Maeve here. And Aelin's trying to talk her way out of it and saying like, release the human and let's like settle this between ourselves. And I'm scared that Maeve is gonna kill Elid. So Aelin's obviously burnt out and her power can't hold, and Maeve is like pounding darkness on top of her and she's like screaming in agony. Gabrielle has just said that he will take on the punishment intended for Aylin. And Maeve has said, so much talk about Aylin, if you're so invested in her court, why don't you join it? And she severed the blood oath with him. I don't understand why. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It's not the time to be giddy because this scene is really fucking stressful, but Maeve has just confirmed that Rowan is her mate. And I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Oh my god. So, Maeve is saying she'd seen a glimmer of the future. She knew that Aylin was going to be the one to get the keys for her and it was going to be a descendant of Brannon's line, but she didn't know when she would be born. She knew that Rowan would be her mate and that together both of them would be like unstoppable and any children they had could rule an empire basically. She's done something to make Rowan think that his mate, Lyria, was his mate when really she wasn't. Waited for her to get pregnant and then Maeve had her killed to break Rowan so that he would then swear the blood oath to Maeve. So she was never his mate, it's always been Aylin. Maeve has said, Aylin, you either come with me and get acquainted with the warrior that she's replaced Rowan with, this guy called Cairn, who's apparently like a fucking sadist, or I'll still take you and I'll also bring Alid with us and she can get acquainted with Cairn. So Aylin's obviously going to give herself up to protect Alid. Where's Rowan and Adion and Lysandra? They said they were getting the wyverns or something. Rowan had an idea about the wyverns. I'm really hoping they're fucking en route and they're going to drop in and fucking just kill them all, please. Oh my god. Maeve's making Aylin bow before her and they're literally about to put her in this fucking metal coffin and she's told her to take off her shirt. I think she's gonna whip her. Oh, please don't. I thought maybe Rowan would arrive before he actually got to whip her, but he's doing it. And she said that she has to count each of the 10 lashes, otherwise they're gonna start over, but Aylin's refusing to count, so she's just gonna keep going. She doesn't deserve this. They've literally split open her back down to the bone. Maeve has just stripped Lorcan of his blood oath as well. She said that she's got no use for males who think they know best, basically, and she's rescinding the kill order. She's gonna let him live with shame. And he's tried to crawl to her and beg her, like, what the fuck, Lorcan? They've put Aylin in a fucking iron coffin and they're taking her away and made her lie on her back and like not even let her have a fucking shirt on or anything. I'm so fucking upset about this, honestly. Where is my fucking wife? What the fuck? What the fuck? Rowan's arrived at the beach. He's just said to Lorcan, where is Aylin? Where is she? Where is my wife? Have they got married? In secret. And he's just noticed all the blood on the beach. Oh, somebody sedate me, please. So they've told Rowan everything, like that he's her mate and stuff, and about the whipping and everything. And then Adion's turned to Lysandra and was like, you knew? And she said she asked me that day on the boat. So when Rowan thought she might be pregnant, she'd asked him to get Lysandra and they'd gone into the bathroom and it was never mentioned again. Basically, Aylin had asked Lysandra, when I die to banish Erewhon, will you like shift into me so that nobody except the immediate people will know that Aylin was dead? So she was planning. Adion said any children with Rowan wouldn't look anything like Aylin though, and Lysandra said, but you would fix that Adion with me. So they would have, the plan was for Lysandra to have kids with Adion, which would then look like Aylin because of his bloodline. Oh, this is too much. This is too much. I can't cope. I'm being fully judged. Are you judging me, little boy? You better not be. Your mum's in distress. I fucking knew they had a mating bond. The fucking pathway to speak to each other. All the times that they've had these silent conversations, I knew they were fucking speaking to each other. Rowan's just tried to like cast it out and say like, fight, I'm coming for you. Galan, the crown prince of Wendlin, has just turned up because Aylin had sent him a message to come to these fucking coordinates on the beach. I swear this girl is so fucking scheming and goes off and just doing all sorts. How does she have the foresight to do all this? I really don't understand how fucking cunning and like brilliant she is. But now another load of people have just turned up on the beach And it's fucking Elias, the son of the mute silent assassin guy. The silent master, his son from book 1. He's turned up with the silent assassins. What the fuck? So they've got their army and Aylin's been taken. Lysandra has put on her face of Aylin and has greeted everybody who's come to like fight in her army and said, we're gonna go north to Terrasen. And she's turned to Rowan and said, I need you to retrieve something for me before you join us in the north. So she's telling him, go and get Aylin back. Because they can't leave her. Why is this book ending like this? I'm so fucking scared for Kingdom of Ash, I can't even tell you. Okay, finished. This has devastated me. Oh my god, I think this one has got to be 5 stars, you know? I think we've got one on top at the moment, guys. And now I need to finish Tower of Dawn. I'm so unwell. Okay, I've written my review. I've composed myself a little bit. I was getting really hot because I was so stressed. I've had to discard the fleece. Off you go. Let's fucking finish Tower of Dawn. I've got less than 100 pages. Please, if this book does me dirty like that one just did, I might actually pass away tonight. Oh! Irene thinks that healers can heal the Valgs. The Valgs are essentially parasites within a human host, and she thinks she can like heal it out of them. The healer on high has gone missing. They've gone down to like the bottom of the library and found these old like tunnels that led out, and in there the healer on high is there, gagged and bound, and fucking the Kagan's youngest daughter is like standing over her basically, and she's infected by Valg. She's pregnant as well. They're fighting against this princess and she's just gone to blast Irene, so Chaol has pushed her out the way and now his fucking back has been blasted and it's saying that the feeling in his legs vanished. Are you for real? He's literally just been able to walk again. You're gonna take that away from me? Irene is saying that she can feel Chaol dying and that there's like internal bleeding and there's blood pouring out of his mouth. She's got the princess on the ground and she's about to like kill her, but she's pregnant and she doesn't know if she can do it, and then Chaol's like fading. Do not let them find each other for him to fucking die, please. So Irene is like tapped into her ancestors of healers and they've basically said that the damage to Chaol is too great, you can't heal him even though she was trying, and they've all like kind of merged their power together to heal him, and they said there is a cost for this, and she said I'll pay it, like, but they didn't say what it was. So then all of them have like put their power into him and he's not only not dying but his spine is healed as well, and it's even got rid of the scar on his cheek from Aylin. But what's the price that she's gonna have to pay? Because nothing is fucking free. Okay, so the cost is that their lives are now tethered together, so when one of them dies they both die, and also because the damage to his spine was so great, they've been able to heal it, but that's also tied to Irene's power. So when she's at full power, he can walk, and when she's depleted, he'll either have to use a cane or be back in the chair because his spinal injury will never go away. So Irene has managed to like heal the Valg out of the princess, and then she's come to and she's told them like it's all true what they've said, like Chaol, what he's tried to tell you is true. So I think the Kagan is going to agree to send his army to support the cause because he's realised shit that it's actually come to my shores already. So Sartak's going to bring 1,000 Ruck Riders to come to Terrasen's aid. So they really have amassed a fucking army. Sartak has told his dad that he's going to be going to war, and he was like, why? And he said, because the woman I love now plans to head into war and I intend to follow her. And he said that she's common and the would-be heir of the Kagan needs to wed a princess or a lady or someone with lands. And he said, if that's what it takes to be chosen as heir, then I don't want it. And he started to walk out, and then his dad appointed him as heir before he could walk out. So he said, basically, we're going to go to war, and then when we destroy Erewhon, we're going to return here together and we're going to remain together for the rest of our days. I'm very emotional tonight. Oh, Chaol and Irene got married. Oh, that's so fucking cute. Oh shit, 300 healers are sailing back with them. Oh, I've got chills. Finished. Oh, so Aylin has now been taken out of the coffin thing and Maeve has said, good, you're awake, let's begin. So are they going to start fucking torturing her now or something? Like, that's how it's ended. Why are you doing this to me? I need to think on my rating for this because I can't lie, the first good chunk of it I did find boring, and the only saving grace was that it was mixed in with chapters from Empire of Storm, so I think this is probably my least favourite out of the series, but however, I did become invested with the characters from about halfway, and then I didn't find any of the latter half boring. I need to take that into consideration. Okay, it's late, but I can't not start Kingdom of Ash right now. After how those both ended, I need a little something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't go to sleep after that, so I'm gonna read a little bit. Like, not much, but I just need it, okay? Don't judge me. Fucking starting off strong with Rowan's POV. He's fucking been searching for her for months. She's been being tortured for months. Oh, don't. I can't cope. Oh, maybe it wasn't such a good idea to start this, but fuck it, we're here now. Oh my god, they've been continuing to whip her, they've been breaking her bones, and they're forcing Fenris to watch it all. He's in his wolf form, and he's chained up, and he's just forced to witness her being tortured for months. Okay, I'm calling it a night. So Erewhon's forces have taken one of the towns on the outskirts of Terrasen, and it would only take them a week to get to Orinth, which is like the main capital, I suppose. So he's fully making his fucking move. None of them know where Aelin is, and Rowan's out of his mind looking for her, and Aedion's depressed as fuck because she's gone and Lysandra lied to him. Oh, it's just... Oh my god, I actually don't know how I'm going to survive this book. I'm really scared. It's only just started and I'm really scared for like whatever's going to happen. Have mercy on me, I'm just a girl. Day 22, we're on the final stretch. I'm scared for my life. Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared. Let's see how quickly we can get through this. This is nearly 1,000 pages. So I've been out to the cinema with my friends. The last chapter that I read before I went was Aelin's POV, and she was being tortured by Cairn. And Renfis was being forced to stay in wolf form and watch the whole thing. And they've devised like a code where he will blink to her, like, and however many times he blinks is like the question he's asking, and he basically told her like, it's okay, I'm here with you, even while she's being tortured. Like, Cairn literally shattered her knee with a hammer. Oh, I can't. I don't know how I'm actually going to cope reading these scenes of her being tortured like this. She doesn't deserve it. So Lorcan's just told Elide that he wasn't crawling after Maeve, he was trying to crawl after Aelin. He was trying to get to the iron box, but Maeve had just severed the blood oaths and he was in crippling agony, but he just couldn't let her try to take her after what she'd sacrificed for Elide, so apparently he was crawling to her, which changes things. I think Irene's pregnant, and her and Kale's lives are tied to each other, so if one dies, the other dies. And obviously they're heading to war, so... So remember when Manon ripped off that spider and stole the silk and literally shoved her off a cliff? The spider has caught up to them and I think she wants to try and kill Manon. And I'll bet any money that that's the spider that made the deal with Falcon for 20 years of his life, and the reason that he was in Antica was because he thought if he could kill one of the spiders, then he can get his years back, basically. These guys are going to kill it, and he's going to get his years back. It was the spider who took Falcon's years. They're not killing her because she's told them she's seen the Crocan witches, and that's what they're looking for, so that Manon can rally the Crocans to join the war. But Dorian's looking for a way into Morath because Gavin told him that that's where the final word key is, so Maeve has just had Aelin shoved down onto her knees on top of broken glass, and Cairn was like pushing her down onto it and grinding the glass like into her, so there's blood everywhere. She's made Fenris's twin brother Connell kill himself in front of him and in front of Aelin, just to prove that she's this fucking all-powerful person that can do whatever she wants, just to make a point. Oh, and then Aelin has managed to grab some glass when she was hauled up by Cairn. She stabbed him into his neck, but he's still fucking alive, and thrown some at Maeve, and it's cut her cheek, and she bled black blood, which is obviously Valg, but then she blinked and it was red, so she's thinking, oh, I must have been hallucinating, but obviously it's because Maeve is a Valg queen. I'm calling it a night. I'm 100 pages in. Aelin's been taken back to the room she's been like held captive in. Fenris has turned up. She's been left there with the glass still in her knees, and he's basically said, she's given me leave to take the glass out and then I'm to
to go back into my wolf form and just sit in the corner and watch again, basically. She's told him no because she wants him to be able to grieve for his brother. And she said, like, I'm so sorry. And Fenris has said, I didn't realise my brother hated me so much. He's pulling the glass out of her knees and they're both just crying. And, like, he's held her hand and squeezed it. And Maeve told her that she knows Lysandra is pretending to be her back in Terrasen and that Rowan and everybody are there with her. So she thinks Rowan's not coming for her, even though he is. Maeve's such a fucking bitch. She's literally said that to fuck with her head. So she actually thinks that she's alone and that nobody cares and no one's coming.
It's day 23, I think. Is it day 23? I think it is. I'm so invested. I would have read more last night, but I was literally falling asleep because I was so tired after the cinema. I could not keep my eyes open as much as I wanted to. I was like, no, just get to the end of the chapter. But today I have no plans this evening, so binging. So Sartak and Nezrin have seen some of Erewhon's soldiers and they swooped down to speak to them and they've told them that they're marching on Aniel, which is Kael's home. So he's borrowing a ruck and a rider and him and Irene are flying there to warn them. So they're going to deviate there, try and save Aniel, and then they're going to make their way to Terrasen. So their plans are changing, like searching for Dorian, and that's going to have to wait because his home's about to be destroyed. So Aylin's had like some sort of vision from her mother and she's reminded her like, you do not yield. So she started hammering her hand against the iron like coffin that she's being kept in, and it's sent a pulse out into the world, and Rowan, Gavriel and Lorcan have felt it and they know that she's in Doranel now, so they're gonna go there and try and find her. So Dorian's just ended up killing that Stygian spider, and she's kind of told him how she uses Falcon's shifting power. So when she took 20 years of his life, she took a bit of his power so she can shapeshift, and Dorian's wondering whether his power is strong enough that he could also shapeshift. So he's just killed the spider, and I think he's going to try and find a way to shift himself so that he can then get into Morath to find this other word key. I think he's got his mind set on the fact that he's going to be the one to die to create the lock. So there's been a new character introduced in this book, a thief called Nox. It didn't register that he was from Throne of Glass. He was one of the ones that Selena advised to go because it was basically a trap and he was going to die, so he left. But I really liked his character. And he's just walked alongside Lysandra, who's like wearing Aylin's skin, and he said, so Erewhon knows you're not Aylin because basically one of Erewhon's guys has just come to try and kill Aylin, and he scented her and he was about to say, you're a shifter. And they were like, kill him quick, so they killed him. But I think he sent a message back to Erewhon, so he knows Aylin isn't in Terrasen now, which is fucking shit. Then this Nox guy has just said, so Erewhon knows you're not Aylin. She was like, what do you mean? He said, I figured when I saw the surprise on the demon's face. And she said, you must be mistaken. He said, am I, or do you not remember me at all? And he said, Selena looked a little more amused when she cut men into ribbons and she was a friend. So he's on their side, but I'd completely forgotten about him. I love how everybody just comes back around. It's all tied together. Maeve has just said that she's going to meet some of Erewhon's like foot soldiers who her spies have told her have collars with them, and she's going to get one and bring it back and put it on Aylin because she's grown tired of her not bowing down to what she's demanding, basically. I feel sick. I actually feel sick. Oh shit, Rowan, you beautiful bastard. He'd said the other day that in order to get to Doranel, they needed to lure Maeve away, and what were they going to do that? And Maeve's obviously now saying to Aylin that she's gonna go and get this wordstone collar to put on her, and then it switched to Rowan's POV and he's set the trap. So the wordstone collar information that she's had is to draw Maeve away, so she's fallen for their trap. So hopefully while she's away they can go and rescue Aylin, please. So Rowan and the gang are now in Doranel, and they've come across this massive army in like the capital, and they're like, fuck, how the fuck are we supposed to like get through that and find Aylin and make inquiries when there's so many people about who know Rowan, Lorcan and Gavriel's faces? So Alid has said she's gonna go in, and Lorcan was like, absolutely not, and she was like, I'm going. He said, what are you gonna do? Ask for Aylin, or like ask to speak to Maeve? And she said, I'm gonna ask about Ken and pretend that she's like a jilted lover, because nobody should like blink twice at this human girl asking after somebody she's obviously been with. So they're gonna try and find Ken to lead them to Aylin. The army that they've amassed, like the Aedion's leading at the moment, the Bane and the assassins and everybody, they've just encountered Morath's forces, 50,000 of them, and they've been led by Valg princes and a whole fucking horde of Ilken as well. they're just getting like battered, like everybody's dying. It's not said anyone that I care about has died yet, but it said by nightfall on the second day, even the Baines line had buckled and still Marath did not stop coming. Oh no. Alid has found somebody who has told her where Cairn is, like the camp that he's moved to. So he was in one place and then they said yesterday he'd moved, which is obviously when Maeve has left to go and find these collars. So now they're planning how they're going to get in and get out. So it's dawn the morning that Rowan, Gavriel and Lorcan are going to try and save Aelin. And Cairn's just come in to try and torture her some more and he's going to burn her on this table. And she's now thinking she needs to provoke him to accidentally kill her before Maeve can come back and put the collar on her. But Rowan and that are going in before dawn because that's when their ally told them to go in. So I really hope she doesn't do something before they get there. I'm so nervous. So Cairn's about to attack Aelin with a hot poker from, like, he's had it in fire and it's like he's gonna brand her with it. And Fenris is breaking through the blood oath to stand up and defend her. But one of the others had said something, or I'm not sure if they'd said it or it was in a monologue, but if they break the blood oath themselves, then they die. So I think he's about to die just to make one last stand to help her. I think Kane's gonna kill Fenris, even though he's gonna die anyway from severing the blood oath, but he's fighting with him to let Aelin get away. So she's left the tent and she's fucking sprinting and then Rowan's like half a mile to the tent. So I'm like, please, are they gonna miss each other? Is she gonna go off one way and he's not gonna realise because she's masked? There's too much stress. Oh my god, Lorcan spotted her running through the camp fighting off soldiers and he's tried to signal Rowan to say she's here but he's too far away. Oh god, they've been reunited. And all she's managed to say is Fenris and she's like crying and like trying to tell them without words like Fenris is there and he's saved me. So Rowan has said to Lorcan, take Aelin to the glen, and then said to Gavriel, you're with me. And he's fucking raging and he's going back to camp to... I don't know if Fenris is beyond saving because of the blood oath, but they're going back to fucking deal with Cain. But they've got her. Rowan is about to torture Cain, and I've never been more fucking happy for somebody to get what they deserve. Absolute piece of shit. Oh my god. So Aelin is trapped in the fucking iron mask on her face and the chains around her ankles and that, and it's like the iron is so strong that their magic and everything, like brute force, will not get them off, and she's had like a fucking panic attack, screaming like get it off, get it off. And Rowan's just returned from killing Cain and he's like, I'm like, just calm down, Fireheart, I'll get it off you. And they can't. So they've used word marks to get the chains off her and the mask. So they've took it all off, and then Rowan said her name and she's just like erupted into flames and it's like burned all her clothes away, and then Alida's just got a good look at her back and said like all her scars are completely gone. So Aelin has gone over to Fenris to say goodbye, but they were like whispering together and she's asked him if he wants to do the blood oath to her. So they've performed the blood oath, so because he was dying from one severing, he's made the blood oath to her and she's commanded him to live, so he's not gonna die. Okay. Oh, Adian's being so horrible to Lysandra. It's not her fault. Like, Aelin was the one who came up with that plan. He's basically saying, how could you ever think you could be her? You could pretend to be her, but the army's obviously noticed that you're not using your fire, so you're basically an untrained, useless shapeshifter. And he said, you've ruined everything, you and her, get out of my tent. You two are in love with each other. Everybody realises this, but you. So the little folk have just brought Mab's crown back to Aelin, and the others have realised that she's their queen as well because she's descendant from Mab. That's really cute that they're helping them and they've brought this boat to like lead them through back to the sea. Oh, so Fenris has finally shifted from his wolf to help them. They're basically looting this underground cave for gold because they need gold to be able to get a ship back to Terrasen. It's the first time he's shifted since he was saved. And Aelin's held out her arms to hug him and they've hugged and she's said like, thank you, and if you don't want the blood oath we can find another way to free you, and he said no, I want it. It's really sad. And then he's told Rowan and Gavriel that Maeve killed Connell, his brother, so they've promised like, we'll make it right. It's making me sad though because Aelin hasn't even hugged Rowan yet, and I know like obviously she's fucking traumatised, fair, but like he's missed her for literally 2 months, 3 days and 7 hours he was apart from her. Like, he literally counted the fucking hours.
Give the man a hug. Aelin was rifling through the gold and she's found 2 rings, and she said to Rowan, I don't know if it's a fake custom or not, but when humans wed they exchange rings, because they'd obviously got married. She's found a ring for him and a ring for her, and they've put each other's rings on and said to whatever end. The army is starting to advance on Aniel now, and Kaol has just gone down. He said goodbye to Irene and gone down to wait with his dad, just to look upon like when the army's coming. And his dad has told him, your wife is pregnant. Like, have you not noticed her resting her hand on her stomach and how green she becomes at meal times? So he's just realised that, and then the army started to advance. His dad is a twat. Aelin and Rowan are just having their first proper conversation after she's come back. He said that he'd been wishing for months that she was his mate and wondering why it couldn't have been her instead of the girl he thought was his mate. And then he said, basically, we'll face everything together and then we'll have 1,000 years together. And he said if the price for defeating Erewhon is truly you, then we'll go together. Because I have no intention of ruling Terrasen by myself, so he'll die with her if she needs to die to complete the lock, he will die with her. Oh, just fucking sedate me, please. So Aelin has just given Lorcan the choice of swearing the blood oath to her or never setting foot in Terrasen again, because she can't trust where his allegiance lies now. He's not tied to Maeve and everything. And he's agreed to do it because he can't bear the thought of not seeing Alid again. She said to him, no matter what you choose, I won't stop you from... She basically implied, I won't stop you from seeing Alid. And he said, you don't realise that that's not a possibility anymore. And she looked to Alid and she said, it is, Lorcan. Trust me, it is. So he's going to do it. So Manon is trying to rally the Blue Bloods to fight with them. And I think they might do it, you know. Okay, I'm calling it a night. I'm 378 pages in. Aelin and Fenris are still using their code even though they're not prisoners anymore. He's blinked to her 3 times, which means, oh, you're all right, and she's blinked twice, which means no. And then she's blinked 3 times to him to ask him, and he'd returned no. Oh, they're both fucking traumatised. It's so tight.
Day 24. I'm hoping to make another big dent in this today. I definitely want to finish this by the end of the weekend. Like, come Monday, we're done. That is my goal.
So the army is like battering them in Aniel, and it's battering them on the outskirts of Peranth, I think they are. So Aedion's trying to get people to stay the front line, and they're just fleeing, like they're abandoning their posts, and Lysandra's looking around. And she's seeing that they're going to lose, and she said it's over, and Aedion had called her useless. And then it says that she gazed towards the Ilken and knew what she had to do. I'm so scared she's going to do something and sacrifice herself to try and help turn the tide on this particular battle, because she thinks Aedion doesn't care about her, but he's just too fucking stubborn to admit that he's still... I think he loves her. She's shifted into Aelin so that people will see that the Queen is at the front lines and then come back to their posts, and Aedion's seen her. And she's being attacked by Ilken, and she's got obviously no power because she's like pretending to be in her human or fae form. And he's shouting, please, please. And in his head, he's thinking, I'll take it back. Everything I'd said, like I'd called her useless. I'd thrown her into the snow naked. He takes it back. Please don't let her die. My heart is fucking pounding. Fucking hell. Aedion was running away with Lysandra over his shoulder, like to try and find her a healer, and then all of a sudden one of those fucking witch towers with all of the mirrors on that the Erewhon had been crafting has been pulled in by a load of wyverns, and then one of the witches has expanded her power to basically detonate it, and they've incinerated 4,000 of our troops. Like nothing left of them, just ash. So Aelin and Rowan and the gang have just turned up in Aniel, of all places, and just walked into the war tent where Kaol and Sartak and all them are like discussing stuff. And she's realised that Kaol's walking again, so they've just had this cute little reunion, and then he's like, allow me to introduce you. He started to pull Irene forward, and she was like, Irene Towers, like she remembered her, and she thanked her for everything she did back then. It was so fucking cute. And now she's introducing them to Rowan as her husband. I don't know why they've gone there. I thought they were going straight to Terrasen, but Falcan's got his youth back after Dorian's killed that spider, and he's just burst into the tent where Aelin and Kaol and everybody are, and they're like, who are you? And he's like, and then Borte was like, it's Falcan! And then he's just recognised Aelin and said, you're the assassin from the market. Oh my god. So Lysandra's survived, but she'd shifted back to her normal form, so all the men saw her that she wasn't really Aelin, so they know that Aelin hasn't been there. And then Aedion's tried to apologise and said, like, I didn't mean anything I said. And she said, I've never been so humiliated in all the time being a courtesan as when you threw me out in the snow. And it took me nearly dying for you to realise that. And we have nothing to say to each other. And he got on his knees and she was like, no, get out, basically. And he's just said, I meant every promise I made to you on that beach in Skulls Bay. That was when he said he was going to marry her. Lord Darrow has just stripped Aedion of his title and said he's no longer commander of the Bane or a general or a prince, and demanded he give over the sword of Orinth that he fucking got back. Aelin's father's sword. That man makes me so fucking angry. Like, he needs to die. Like, he actually needs to die. It's day 25. I went out last night and I'm absolutely hanging. I've slept quite a lot of the day and literally not read a thing. It's 20 to 7 now and I'm only just starting to feel a little bit more human enough to read. So Manon has just got back the crown, Rhiannon's crown, like one of their ancestors' crowns from the three matrons, and she's killed one of them. Her grandmother's fled and she let the other one go. And then Glenys has declared her the queen of the witches and given her the crown because it's like glowed, the stars have glowed when it's been on her head, so it recognises her as the rightful queen, which is really cute. So the battle's ongoing at Aniel. Lorcan is basically thinking to himself that he's got nothing and no one and nobody cares if he walks off the battlefield today. He's lowered his shields and then one of the Valg soldiers who's got some skill has fucking stabbed him with his sword and then he's like passed out. I don't want him to die, like, I actually feel quite bad for him. I'm hoping that it's going to be a case of he gets brought into the healer's room where Alida's helping out and she sees him basically near death and she realises, fuck, I was so horrible to him, and give him another chance. Fucking hell, so the battle's over and nobody's noticed that Lorcan hasn't returned, and Alida's just come out to pass on a message to Chaol and she was like, where's Lorcan? And everyone's like, oh shit, we don't know. And she was like, what the fuck? So Rowan's asked Fenris to like blink down there because he can like kind of teleport, can't he? And he said he can't, and he was like, what do you mean you can't? You didn't use that magic, so you should be good to go. And he was like, I can't. And he was like, you won't. And then Aelin's told him to leave it. They've had a silent conversation about it, so Rowan's conceded. They don't care to know where he is. So Alida's going down into the battlefield to find him herself because she's like, I made him an oath that I'll always find him. That's not how I thought this was going to go. So Fenris has just said to Rowan that the reason why he can't use his power is because it was the one power that him and Connell, his twin, shared. And he hasn't been able to stomach using it since, and he's not even sure if he can now that Connell is dead. I kind of get it, but still tight on Lorcan. Oh my god, my heart's going. She's found Lorcan and got him onto the horse and his wounds are really, really bad. And now they're racing because the dam's about to break. They're trying to get back to the keep. And Lorcan's just leaned in and said, I love you. I've loved you since the moment you picked up the axe to slay the Ilkin, and I'll be with you always. And he's telling her to let him go so that she can make it back because both of their weight is too heavy for the horse to go faster. I swear to God, if he throws himself off the horse to dive so she can get to safety, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Oh my god, she's like dug her nails into his arm to say like, no, you're not letting go of me, you come in. And she's like urged the horse faster and the horse has fucking gone faster, but the dam's just broken now. I don't know if they're gonna make it. So Aelin has just defeated the dam, like the wall of water, with her magic. She's been fucking tunneling into her magic for 3 months. So all the while that Ken was torturing her, she was burrowing down into her magic so that she could muster enough power to be a death blow to Maeve. And she's just used it to save everybody there because she needs this army to come to Terrasen. So she's used her chance, her one shot at having enough power to kill Maeve to save everybody. So Manon has just asked Dorian not to go to Marath because he's leaving in the morning. And she said, if we were to have an alliance between Adalan and the witches, would that convince you not to go? And he's not answered her. In his head, he's thinking, no, she doesn't want this, so I'm not going to do this. She's doing it to try and help Terrasen because she said, why should Aelin bear the brunt of the sacrifice? So she sees it as a sacrifice marrying him because she wants to be free. So he's not going to do it. He's still going to go to Marath. I'm scared something's going to happen to him there. I don't think I'll cope very well if he gets collared again. Look at this. We haven't had a chapter from Aedion or Lysandre's POV for quite a while. The last chapter we had, they were being cornered by Marath into one particular location where they had nowhere to go because the bridge to cross had been like destroyed. So they were basically, it's like certain death. There's like the sea or a big river behind them, and the fucking Mycenaeans have come. So Rolf has managed to rally them. They're like attacking Marath's soldiers, and now they can go onto the ships to get away. Lorcan and Elide have just had their like makeup, and she's told him that she loves him too. So Dorian's gone to Marath by himself, and Asterin asked Manon, are we going to go after him? And just as she was about to answer, a scout has come and said Terrasen calls for aid. So they've all put the question to Manon, like, what do you want to do? You're the queen. And she said, I will answer Terrasen's calls. They've lit all these witch fires, like the different hearths, that's going to rally all the Crocan witches. So all these women who have been in hiding for years are coming to fight, basically. So Manon has managed to wrangle this massive fucking army to come to Terrasen's aid. So Dorian's made it into Marath, and he's found Erewhon. He's like disguised as a mouse. He's having a fucking meeting with Maeve. Obviously Erewhon doesn't know that Maeve is his brother's wife, because she's like obviously taken on a different form. What could she possibly be meeting him for? Maeve has told Erewhon who she is and apparently wants to do a fucking alliance with him. She's offered her spiders in Antica, the more like savage ones, to be hosts for the Valg princesses. Those fucking creatures that nearly killed Sartak and Nezrin in the woods. They're gonna host the Valg princesses. Like, what the fuck? So Dorian was like spying on their conversation, and he's followed Maeve out up to her room. She knows it's him. She's just stood on his tail as he tried to run away because he's in a mouse form, and said, you're not a very skilled spy, king of a Darlan. What's she gonna do to him? What the fuck? Dorian has offered to fucking marry Maeve to form an alliance. Sorry? She let him go. He's like shifted so they could have a conversation. She's basically saying that she's planning to backstab Erewhon, so the offer that she made him wasn't real. She still wants the word keys and stuff. And he's saying, well, I want it as well. And he wants to fulfill the task to like make the lock and sacrifice himself and stuff. And then he's literally fucking said, why don't you ally with me? I'll leave here with the key and a bride. Like, what the fuck? No! Okay, I'm calling it a night. Marath's army has just got to, I think they're in Orinth, with an army of 100,000 soldiers, and they bought 3 of those witch towers, but they'd gone out the night before. They dug like channels under the ground and essentially put bombs under there and covered it up so that when the armies passed with the witch towers, they blew them up, and they've destroyed 2 of them, so they've only got 1. But obviously the witch towers cause massive destruction, so even with 1 they could still do a lot of damage.
Day 26. This is the final day. I'm telling you now, I'm finishing this today. Dorian's wearing the skin of Erewhon and breaking into his chambers to find this word key. I'm really scared something's gonna happen to him. I don't trust Maeve. I really don't trust Maeve. I don't trust her motives. I think, well, he was holding the hilt of Damaris, and that went warm to suggest that she is telling the truth, but I still just don't trust her. I think she's gonna try and like double cross him. As soon as he's got the word key and takes her to where the others are, I think she's gonna try and kill him. Oh fuck, he's found the word key and it's inside another girl, like what he did to Kaltain. He's just found her in Erewhon's bed, and she's basically like a shell of a person, and he can tell that the stone is inside her. You know, he's got the stone, and then the girl, like he managed to push the Valg inside her back a bit, and she was like, please kill me. She was like crying, then all of a sudden her neck's been snapped, and it was Maeve. So he's turned around like, what the fuck? And she said like, well done. And then her power has leapt upon his mind, it says, and he didn't have a chance to grab for his sword before he was snared in her dark web. I fucking knew we couldn't trust her. I fucking knew it. Oh God. Oh no. Is she controlling him? God, it was a trap within a trap. So he's now trapped Maeve in her mind, and they're having like a silent conversation, and he was like, you hurt my friend, and if I could, I'd put you in an iron box for eternity. The king I wish to be is the opposite of what you are, and there is only one witch who will be my queen. He never had any intention of marrying her, thank fuck. Oh my God. I'm buzzing. Oh my God. Dorian's fucking destroyed Marath. He's taken away Maeve's ability to world walk, so she can't do the portals anymore, and he's left her there for Erewhon to find, and he's fucking just destroyed everything, like all the collars and everything, and he's got the 3 word keys. Oh my God, I'm fucking buzzing. I'm so happy. So I've been shooting. Let me show you my sheet. And now I'm sat in the garden reading, and they've managed to capture Elid's uncle, Vernon, and she's basically said, like, you can do what you like with him. So they're going to question him to find out what he knows, and he's just told Aelin that Maeve has gone to Morath to unite with Erewhon. So they've left Vernon to die, locked up in the room, and he's told them, basically, Erewhon and Maeve are teaming up to destroy you, that he's told Aelin that. She obviously doesn't know what we know, which is now that Maeve has double-crossed Erewhon and Dorian's like dobbed her in the shit and off he's gone. So now it's cut to the army in Orinth, and they're aware that there's 100,000 marching on Orinth, and Aelin knows that her and everybody else aren't going to get there in time. So the army is fighting now, like it's the morning of the battle, and they just look to the horizon and there's a load of wyverns come in. And I really hope that this is Manon and everybody who's turned in is on our side now. Aedion's just begged Lysandra to go and take Evangeline, and she said, you're not asking our other allies to run, and he said, because I'm not in love with our other allies. And he said, I should have told you every day. I've realised it. I should have told you every day. And she's just squeezed his hands and she's like refusing to go. Manon and the witches, why am I crying? I've just come to help them. And she's told Darrow that we've come to honour a promise made to Aelin Galathinius to fight for what she promised us. And he said, what's that? And she said, a better world. And Aedion said, how many have come? And she said, see for yourself, and there's thousands of them. I really think that's going to make such a difference. Like, hopefully they won't die. I actually can't bear the thought of anybody dying. So Aedion's fought against a Valg prince, and he's been wounded, he's been stabbed and lost consciousness, and then it's gone to Evangeline's POV where she's running messages for Darrow, and the message he's received is that Aedion's wounded and is passed out. So she's like really scared for him, because in it said that she hasn't decided whether she would want him to be a father figure or a brother figure, and she's never had either. And Darrow is being really kind, like he can tell that she's scared, and he said, I know that somebody else is going to go and deliver my reply and you're going to stay here with me. He's a bastard though, so why is he being nice? He's probably a bit misunderstood, and I think he probably has his reasons for why he's treated Aelin like shit, but I can't forget that. Lorcan and Elide. I think I need help getting in the bath. I've just had a very random thought, but it's a possible other theory. What if Aelin and Dorian create the lock together with the word stones, so neither of them have to die because their power combined is enough, so they won't have to drain, they can like half drain themselves each, so not a full person has to be drained? Maybe. Dorian's just found Aelin and Rowan on the road as they're all making their way to Orinth, and he's flown in as a wyvern and then transformed, and he's made it to them, and Aelin can sense that he's got all 3 word keys, so they're all uniting now. Everybody's heading to Terrasen. Oh, Abraxos is really hurt, and they're just screaming for a healer, but he's like crashed out now after doing what he needed to do, and she's realised how bad his wound is, but that he still kept fighting for her. I hope he doesn't die. He's the fucking sweetest little baby. So the witch tower has just killed a load of the witches in the sky, and they're coming towards the city. Manon has said, I need another wyvern because Abraxos is out of commission now. And she said to Lysandra, you can take me, and Aedion said no, but Lysandra's magic's depleted anyway. So the 13 have all looked at each other and they've gone to their wyverns. And Astrid said to her, live, Manon. Bring our people home. And then she's like incapacitated her and they've all gone to ride off. So they're all gonna sacrifice themselves to take down this last witch tower so that Manon doesn't have to. So that she can unite their people. The 13 have all sacrificed themselves. And Astrid made sure to take down Manon's grandmother as well. I think the 13 sacrificing themselves has like broken the curse on the witches. I think they'll be able to return to the wastes. So now that Dorian has found Aelin and everybody, and with the word keys, they're saying that they can either continue on to Terrasen and see what's left of the army, but they think they're going to be too late to make a difference, and then use the word keys, or they can use the word keys now to make the lock, and then they can all continue to Terrasen without Aelin, and she wants to put it to a vote, so she's planning to be the one to die, saying that Dorian's done his bit, he's found the 3rd key, and the rest of it's her responsibility. They've put it to a vote, And the majority has voted to remake the lock now before going to Terrasen. So they've said, fine, that's it then. At dawn, the lock will be remade. And Aylin's planning to be the one to sacrifice herself. I feel sick. So Rowan has just suggested what I had said. Why don't her and Dorian forge the lock together? So she's gonna ask Dorian if he'll do it with her instead. That's literally what I said. So they'll both give half instead of one of them giving everything. Oh, please. Oh fuck, they're not waiting to do it at dawn. They're literally going in the middle of the night. Dorian's agreed, so Aylin, Dorian, Rowan and Kaol are going off into the woods to go and do it now. So Dorian and Aylin are inside, like, I don't know where it's taken them. It's not their physical bodies, but they're both in absolute agony. And Aylin's realised that they're both not going to leave here. And Dorian said the same, that it's going to take all their power and neither one of them are going to come out of it. Somebody's just said the word stop, and it's his dad. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Dorian's dad has agreed to take their place because he also has that bloodline running through his veins, because obviously Dorian does. And I thought he was going to do it on behalf of both of them. Aylin's turned to him and said one of us has to rule, and she's ripped her hand from Dorian's and grasped the king's hand and pushed Dorian back through to the real world. So she's still planning to die and she saved Dorian. So the king's given everything he's had and he's disappeared, and Aylin's expelled all of her magic and the lock has been forged. But the king had just given her a message before he left and said, your parents are so proud of you. And they've said the debt has been paid in her Fireheart, which is what her mum used to call her. So the guilt that she's felt over leaving Terrasen for 10 years, it's already been paid, so she doesn't need to keep punishing herself. Like, is she going to get to live, but just without her power? Because there was two of them. What the fuck? So the gods have come, and they've said, like, summon our portal, and we'll basically fulfill our end of the deal, taking Erwan with us. And she said, if you spare Elena's soul, can you do a trade? So spare Elena and leave Erwan for everyone else. Like, what? Why the fuck would she do that? Just because her friends have basically said that they think they can defeat him without this. But like, what is the point then? What is the point of Aylin dying if they're not going to defeat Erwan with the lock? That doesn't make any fucking sense. She sacrificed her fucking life. But then Deanna, the god who had fucking possessed her on the boat when they were in Skulls Bay, has walked over to Elena and she's literally obliterated her. And she said, we don't make bargains with mortals. After everything that she's done for them, she's sacrificing her life to send them home. Oh my god, I'm fucking fuming here. So Elena's just gone. Anyway, and she said, keep Erwan if that's what you wish, so I don't think they're even gonna take him away. Okay, so the gods have gone through the gate and Mala has stopped there and given her a star that's basically replenished all of her power. And because the gods have basically gone back on their word and betrayed them, Aylin has ripped a hole through the world into a different dimension where other things can destroy them, and the gods started screaming and they were running for her, but she sealed it off. She's thrown a massive chunk of power at the lock to seal it, and then she jumped back through the gate. She's basically saying she would have had to have give everything and died, but because Mala had given her that power as a thank you for trying to save Elena, she's had enough power to be able to close it and jump back through. So I think she's gonna live and still have power, but they've still got to defeat Erwan. So she's travelled through hundreds of different worlds and has landed back in her body, and her power has gone. She can only summon a tiny little flame and still that little droplet of water, but her human body is gone now, so she's fully fae. The cost of it was her mortality. It's burned it away, so she can no longer shift into a human. She's just going to be fae. Oh no, Murtaugh's died. Oh no. I really liked him. And Evangeline had said that if she was to ever have a granddad, she would have wanted it to be him. Adion and Lysandra finally kissed, in the wake of Murtaugh's death, he was fucking crying. And then he's asked her, was this pity? And she said, it's because I'm sick of all this death and I needed you. So Darrow has given Adion the Sword of Orinth back and has said to Lysandra that he recognises her as Lady of Caraver. Any heirs that her and Adion have will be recognised as the rightful heirs of the land and everything. And she said, well, Evangeline is my heir. And Darrow has said, I never had any children and I didn't adopt any, and it would be my honour to name such a wise, brave young lady as my heir. He wants to, knowing he's going to die in this war, he wants Evangeline to carry on his line for him. I'm getting so stressed. Adion and Lysandra have just both said they love each other and they'll find each other in every lifetime. And then a horn has blown across the battlefield, but it's not a horn of Maraf, and they've looked across and it's Aylin and the gang. And she's rode into Terrasen on the fucking Lord of the North. The white stag that was like the symbol of Terrasen that's led them there through the snow and everything. So obviously Aelin and Rowan and the cadre have arrived and the rest of the army. And they've sort of been making a bit of a dent. And now the army that had taken Peranth have come up from behind them. So it's as if like this battle was a trap to make them lose all their forces and then like back them into Orinth and defeat them all. So it's just never ending. Gabrielle's dead. He found Aedion and helped him close the gate, and he's beat back the army so that they could shut the gate, and he's killed loads of them, but Aedion's like rushed up the stairs to look out over and he's seen him dead. This book's ruining my life. I am so unbelievably unwell right now. Rowan's found Gabrielle's body. I need a cup of tea. I need to make a cup of tea. Something's gotta make my life better right now. Lord knows it ain't this book. Rowan's found Gabrielle's body and he's brought him into the keep, and Aedion was just like, he could have stayed. He didn't have to go out there. And he'd said, Rowan had closed his eyes and said like, I hope you find peace in the afterlife and I hope you find her again, and I'm assuming that that means Aedion's mum. This is actually fucking destroying me. I felt like I needed to get comfy for the last like 100 pages. If everybody could just pray for me, because I don't think I will cope if anybody else gets killed. I actually don't think I will cope. Erwan and Maeve have arrived. They've made it to the fucking gates, and Aelin is facing them by herself when she has no magic, basically. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, no. I can't. I need to stop myself from skimming ahead. Maeve tried to trap Aelin in an illusion, but she got free, and then she started strangling her with like magic, and Rowan, Lorcan and Fenris have arrived, got her free of it. Fenris has tried to attack Maeve and she's fucking like mutilated his face with magic. She's covered Lorcan, Fenris and Rowan in her magic in like darkness, and now they're screaming. So they lured Erwan away with the promise of like, Irene's over here, come and get her kind of thing. And when he like advanced upon her, it was Dorian shape-shifting as her. They've trapped him in a word mark and they've like pinned him down with like stabbed a sword through him, and Irene's like now healing him, and Dorian's just demanded, tell me what my dad's name was, because he'd erased his dad's name and he refused to tell him, but because the sword Damaris is the sword of truth that they stabbed through him, it had like forced him to tell him, and Dorian's dad's name was Dorian and he'd only remembered it once when he first held Dorian, and he'd named his son his forgotten name. Oh my god, Irene's killed Erwan. He's just withered away into fucking dust. Oh, okay. So now it's just what Maeve's doing to Aelin, Rowan, Fenris and Lorcan. Like, it's not over yet. So Aelin has fucking summoned the lost Fae of Terrasen and she's opened portals. The cadre and Rowan and Aelin have been drawing these symbols across the battlefield to open these portals to bring the lost Fae of Terrasen through. Aelin's just killed Maeve. She's put the fucking ring, the Valg immunity ring on her, and because it's like poison to the Valgs, it's basically like burning her up, but then she's pulled the sword from inside her, so Fenris speared her with the sword and she's chopped off her fucking head. And she said, we'll pretend my last words to you were something worthy of a song, and then chopped off her head. Thank God. Oh, so all of the Valg have just like dropped dead in the middle of battle. So they've all realised that Erwan's gone, and Aelin started a chant of everybody's chanting Irene because they know that she's managed to defeat him. That's so nice. Lysandra's uncle, Falcan, has just found her. And he said, I've been looking for you for a very, very long time. Darrow has just bowed to Aelin and said, welcome home, your majesty. After seeing what she did for Terrasen, he's finally ready to fucking acknowledge that she's the rightful monarch. Aelin and Aedion have just been reunited, and he's taken her to see Gabrielle's body, and she's offered him the blood oath, even in death, so that people will know that he's got honour and that he stood by his son and the kingdom, and that he'll be buried in Terrasen. Oh God.
Morgan and Alid are gonna go to Paranth together and get married. And he's gonna bind his life to hers so that they can grow old together. Oh my god, I'm so unwell. I'm literally such a mess. The witches have definitely broken the curse because one of the flowers has grown in the wastes and it's been brought here. So Manon has taken it and she's flown to where the 13 sacrificed themselves, and she's laid on the ground so that Astrid will know wherever she is that they're going home. God, Aelin has been coronated as queen. Aedion has sworn the blood oath to her in front of everyone, which is what he said he wanted to do. And then the little folk have turned up with Mab's crown that was lost in her bags, like as they were travelling. She had it, but obviously they were going to war, so she's lost track of all her bags, and the little people have brought it to her because they want her to be their queen as well. So the fairy queen of the west, so she's been coronated queen of like 2 territories. Dorian has asked Manon to consider visiting Rifthold every now and again. Some of Sartak's soldiers, the Rukins, had found some wyvern eggs and they wanted to stay behind to hatch them and like learn how to kind of master them, like riding them. So Dorian said he's going to need people to train them, people who have done it before. So if you would consider like coming back as my crowned rider and then saying hello every now and again. And Irene has just said, you could just marry each other. It would make it easier for you both so you don't need to pretend. And then Manon has smirked and said, we'll see. And then she's flown off and Dorian's like, okay. Aelin, Chaol and Dorian have said goodbye to each other. And they were all crying and she's thanked them for everything they've done for her and that. And they've said like, we'll see you again, because they're obviously going back to Rifthold now. So Dorian can rebuild a Darlan with Chaol as his hand, and Irene's going to rebuild a Torre Sesme there. Obviously they had to part ways. Finished. Oh my god. This is like a 6-star read. This is fucking everything to me. Is it a little bit dramatic if I say that I genuinely think this series has changed my fucking life? This has like altered my brain chemistry. I loved it so much. Like after everything that they'd been through, she's managed to achieve this better world that she'd hoped for. I loved it. I'm such a mess. I need to go write my review, but needless to say, this was my favourite. This vlog's gonna be so long, like I'm so sorry. If you have made it this far though, thank you so much for watching.